Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to play Frostpunk, the board game. This game supports 1 to 4 players. It's for ages 18 and up, and the average playtime is 2 or more hours. But if you're moronic enough like me to attempt to record and play this game at the same time, well, you're in for a long haul. Anyway, Frostpunk, the board game, based off of the very popular video game, one that I love playing. I have played the board game off camera on Tabletop Simulator once, and I'm not even sure I got all the rules right. This is a very complicated, very large game, and to that end, I have to stress I'm gonna get stuff wrong, and I will do my best to get everything in camera. What you're seeing is half of everything on my table right now. There is an entire section of boards that you're not even seeing, and to that end, I will try to move the camera as needed to show you the rest of this stuff. So just as a quick heads up, I do have an overview video of my Tabletop Simulator playthrough if you want to sort of get a rules primer. Today I'm just going to jump right into the game to try and save some time. There's one main way to win this game, and that is when you pick a scenario, you're going to try and defeat it. I chose the very first scenario one out of the box. It's the easiest one out of all of them, I think, as far as I know anyway. But your objective is to get through these scenario cards and reach the last one and do it. That is the only way to win. Of course, there are like a gazillion ways to lose, so more like 6. So one of the ways you can lose is if your people die of hunger. Another way you can lose is if too many people get sick. Another way that you can lose is if you overload the generator twice. The second time it just blows up and everyone has fun. Next we have the hope and discontent tracks. If you lose all your hope or you gain too much discontent, then you lose the game. Lastly, if 10 or more people die in this game, if the number of corpses you have go to 10, then you lose the game. So we're going to try not to let that happen, but again, this is a very difficult game. I'll be flying solo today. I just feel like this game is better played solo. You can play cooperatively with other players, but for the most part, this is a worker placement game, and you'll be working together anyway to just figure out where you want to place meeples. So let's get right down to it. So I picked Society 1 on normal difficulty. You can pick a multitude of different societies which have different starting people and resources and the like. And you can also choose your difficulty for each of these societies as well. Make it tougher if you so choose to. I don't recommend that. Society 1 starts you off with 22 workers, none of them sick, 12 engineers, none of them sick, 8 children, none of them sick, and then 0 automatons. Automatons in this game, in order to use them, have to be powered by coal every time you use them. You start the game with 2 discontent, one of which is inactive. You can also start here, you do start with 2 hope, and both of them are active. You also start with 1 corpse to start out with. Great. There's some flavor text up here if you want to read it. Along the way, we've lost people and found new companions. We're a motley crew, but the hardships of the journey gave us a sense of unity. There is hope for us. We even managed to preserve enough food to be able to feed our children, at least for now. These are the starting supplies that you start off with. 0 steam cores, 5 coal, 4 wood, and 8 food. As a solo player, I will choose one of the 4 advisors, and I keep that advisor for the rest of the game. During a particular phase, the preparation phase, I can exhaust a motivation hope token in order to do this thing. As a single player, I also gain the Call to Rise card. Once per game, in addition to doing advisory stuff, I can play this one card and I can draw more citizen cards. Citizens will help you break the rules in various ways. In fact, that's what these guys are. You draw so many based on the number of players, and you are expected to discard one of them and take the penalty in the upper right-hand corner. So if I decided to discard this particular citizen at the start of the game, I'd have to spend 1 coal out of the starting 5 that I had. I've already done that off camera. I've decided to discard this one, Agnes here, and it just says spend 1 coal. So I start the game with 1 fewer coal. So again, citizen cards, they are broken up into 3 types, representative of the 3 different types of people in the game. Workers, children, and engineers. And you play these along with regular actions to break actions, to make them better. Advisor, call to arms. As far as the board that you're the boards that you're looking at, there's one up there that you can't see. You can kind of see some tokens here. These are buildings that you can construct during the game. I'll show you more later on that. This is the sort of like a round tracker of sorts. You start at 1, which is this little, I don't know what that is. I guess that's an automaton marker, I think. But anyway, you're going to be moving up the track here. Whenever you reach a green token, that is the scenario. That is the special scenario condition that you'll be seeing. And here, going back to the scenario card, you'll see that at round 4 and around 11, something is going to happen. So when we reach that spot on this tracker, we'll do what it says. And some of this has like a choose your own adventure thing. If we do the thing, we can do A. If we don't, we do B. And we have to add cards to the deck and different things like that. The scenario is as follows. Civilization has fallen. We, the survivors, traveled in a convoy that split into several groups to increase the chances of reaching a functional generator. Our group succeeded. What fate befalls the others? Lighting up a signal to guide the lost souls will help to answer that question. So by round 4, we need to build a beacon. If we do, we go to A. If we don't, we go to B, and different things happen. We'll get to those when we get to those. So that's what this is. There's also a storm tracker on the horizon. This will actually move toward, go backwards along the track toward our marker. If the two were to meet, then we'll have to resolve the storm at one of the phases in the game. All right, so there's that. There's also these morning cards that we'll be drawing every round. I don't remember if they're good or bad. Everything in this game's bad. I'm just going to say that right now. There's also this dusk deck down here. You start the game with a deck of 2 dusk cards. One of them is a card that you always put in, and then one of them is one of these shuffled in. These are just bad things that could happen whenever you draw them, and you have to resolve them. So you start the game with 2 of these, and you shuffle them up and you put them here, and we draw them at the appropriate time. Over here is a temperature tracker. This is the current temperature right now, and as this goes up, the harder it will be to heat everything. We start our generator. This is our generator fire token down here. We'll be adding coal, or spending coal, going to the bank in order to push this up so that there's less space between this and this. And for every empty space between the generator fire here and the temperature, people are going to get sick, and the classes are actually listed right on the board there. So this is like child, this is worker, under that I believe is an engineer. And this will also tell you what is actually heated in the game. So if this fire token were here, this heats everything, like we're going to draw an imaginary line going to the right. This heats everything down. So the yellow buildings, which is less insulated, and then orange, then red, which is most insulated, all of that is heated. So when we use particular buildings, we don't have to worry about people getting sick. However, if I bring this, let's say I heat stuff and I put it here, I spend a coal and move it up here. Anytime I use, say, a yellow building or an orange building, there's a possibility that people will get sick. There's also these ranges over here as well. This is indicative of short range on the board, medium range, one ring out from the generator, and then this over here is like a large, that's the farthest ring out, and I'll show you that when we actually get there. So we start the game with this on the 3, this on the 0, and these pieces like so. Toward the bottom of the screen, I'll go ahead and zoom back out, is a population tracker. These are the sickness markers to the left. We do not want them climbing this tracker at all. That is representative of people getting sick, and when they reach certain segments, bad things happen. These are the current populations. I've got 8 children, 12 engineers, and 22 workers, and again, that is based off of the scenario card, which is here in this mess somewhere. Yeah. So again, we start the game with 22 workers, 12 engineers, 8 children. That's what is represented right here. We also start the game with 8 food, which is this tracker down here. This is the hunger marker down here, and as we are unable to feed people, that will go up and bad things happen, so we don't want that to happen. Hope and discontent are tracked over here. Again, we start the game with 2 active hope tokens, 1 active and 1 inactive discontent token. And again, 5 discontent, bad, end game. We don't want that. This is the corpse tracker. This is actually double-sided. You can put your workers here to track them, like your workers as you place them on the board to do things, or you can put them right on the generator if you're not going to use the big thing over there. But I'm not going to use this side, which sort of like is your worker placement storage, resources storage. I'm going to use this simpler side, and I'm just going to track the corpses that way. And I believe that is everything that you can see on this camera at this point in time. Some other things to quickly note. This is the generator. This has a function other than taking up a lot of space. This is a little door that doesn't really snugly fit in here, unfortunately, but this is meant to go in the middle of this. But that would just be a huge eyesore and no one would be able to see anything. So rather, I'm going to put this off to the side and drop black cubes down here as I need to, and sometimes they'll pop out, and we do not want that to happen. I'll explain why that's a thing later. There's also these expedition cards. They go from A to B to C, and you can, once you build a beacon, embark on expeditions and resolve whatever thing is on the back, assuming you want to stop. You can go from A to B to C. So if you finish the A card, you could go to B, or you can stop and just come back. So it's up to you if you want to push your luck and keep going. As far as setup goes, you're going to deal these markers here. There's a bunch of these in the bag. You're going to deal them out in such a way that 3 of them there's something on them. You're going to deal 1 to each corner of this hex here. So there's a wood token, a coal token, and another wood token over there. And once 3 has been dealt, that's it. In the other 3 corners, you're going to put a short range, there's tiles here. This is the short range tiles, so you're going to put 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, anywhere in a corner where these tokens are not. These tokens, by the way, indicate like wall resources, so if you build a structure adjacent to one of these that can mine it out, you'll get some resources, just like in the video game, and it's an endless supply. There's also these far tiles, so near tiles and far tiles. These go on the outer ring here, and that's what these are. And of course, you put resources on these tiles based on what they say. Each tile is broken up into 2 separate spaces. So on this it says 1 wood, on this it says 2 coal. So for the beginning of the game, we're going to put that like that and 2 like that. Again, this is your generator tile. It's huge. You put 5 wood here, 5 coal there. The cookhouse is automatically built for us. We can spend food to get rid of discontent or increase hope. These are my starting resources. I had to get rid of 1 of my coal because I discarded a citizen at the beginning of the game. These are my meeples that I can use to do things. And the number of meeples you get is dependent on the tracker that I kind of showed you over here. There's little numbers up here, 5, 4, 3. So wherever this is in that segment, like this is the segment 5, because this orange marker is in this segment, I get 5 of these workers here. Because this blue one is in the 3 segment, I get 3 meeples over here, and so on. Children, by the way, don't do anything. They can't work unless a card lets them, a citizen card lets them, or you pass a law that lets them start working. Child labor. It's something out of the video game, I know, but it's a thing. All right, so with that being said, I think we're ready to begin round 1. So for the very first round of the game, we are going to skip the first 5 phases of the round. We're going to skip the dawn phase, the morning phase, the generator phase, the weather phase, and the preparation phase, and move right into the action phase. This is where we can place meeples around to various places to do various things. These are the different actions that can be taken. And these actions will either be heated or unheated. And again, unheated actions will cause that particular class of people to get sick. We'll have to track that separately. So we can remove snow, which allows us to place more tiles out onto the board to be discovered, gather resources like pick up wood or coal from these various hexes here. We can construct new buildings. You can use a building that's in the environment already. You can deploy scouts, but only if your beacon is up and running, or you can perform a special action on a scenario card or an event card. Some cards will pop up and allow you to do various things. So with that being said, I am going to immediately add coal to this generator, and you can pretty much do that anytime you want to. There's like 3 different times during the game you can add coal. So again, these are my starting resources. I'm going to pay 2 coal to the bank. So I'm just going to bring these off camera here, and I'm going to move my generator marker up here. This will create a space. So we're going to have one person get sick when we check this later on. There's also a number to the left. I'll see if I can zoom in a little more. Okay. So there's a number to the left here. Wherever this marker is the stress that we cause on the generator. So when it comes time to check this, we're going to add 2 black cubes to the generator over there, the big miniature. And that's when coal may fall out, and we'll have to add it to this track up here in the upper left. That is how the generator blows up. If too many black cubes come on here, it'll overheat the first time. That's bad. We'll have to spend actions to remove black cubes from here and prevent that from happening. So the more heat we apply, the more danger we put and the more stress we put on the generator. So we kind of have to balance sick people and putting stress on the generator. So what I'm going to do for round 1, and this is the action phase, I'm going to place a meeple over here to the platform, and it has to be an engineer. There's a little spot here that says engineer only. So I'm going to assign an engineer over there, and on that platform I can enact a law. And laws, you start with 8 standard ones. There's always 8 that you start the game with, and then you're going to deal 4 at random from the rest of the deck, minus any specific scenario ones that you're not allowed to use. And so you're going to pick one of these and enable it. And each one does different things. I'm not going to go through them all because I don't have the time to do that. But I am going to choose Public Council. This is one of the random ones, one of the 4 random ones that I got. This will allow me to remove discontent from the track here. When you remove discontent, if it's unspecified, if the symbol is not specified, you simply choose one that you want. You either remove an inactive one like this, or you flip an active one over to become inactive. I think I'm going to do that immediately, just inactive that. So this says, whenever you increase hope or discontent and choose to draw a token, you may choose a specific hope or discontent token to draw. So normally when you get hope or discontent, you draw randomly from a set of bags. This will allow me to choose the one that I want, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to put that off to the side, indicating that I've enacted that, and I'll go ahead and move this out of the way as well. All right, so up to this point, these actions have been heated. This is a yellow building. We had someone come here and go to the platform, enable this law. That is a yellow building, and we have our heat marker on the 2. If we go to the right here, we'll note that, yes, the yellow token here is above, meaning it's not heated. However, this short range token here is below. So as long as one of these 2 conditions were fulfilled, we have heated this structure. So this particular meeple class of person did not get sick. However, the next thing we're about to do is always a unheated action unless otherwise specified. We're going to remove some snow, and to do that, we're going to assign a worker off camera, which I'll show you in a minute. And we're going to draw 2 of these near tiles. You have the option. You can either draw 2 of these near tiles, or you can draw 1 of the far tiles. I'm going to put one there and put one there. And now once we place them, we can flip them over and see what they are and assign resources to them. All right. Okay. So we have 3 wood. 1, 2, 3. Some of these tiles have food bonuses on them. If you happen to draw those, you get the food listed immediately. There's 1 coal and 2 wood there. All right, so our worker is over here on this board, just to indicate that we've used him for that action. And because this is a unheated action, we moved the sickness marker up from this 0 space to the 1 space. So the next thing I'm going to do is take the gather action. And I think I'm going to go up there and gather these 2 wood. So I'm going to put my worker meeple on this space of the hex. Each hex has 2 spaces on it. So this is a space and this is a space. And both of these are considered adjacent to nearby tiles, no matter what. So I'm going to use this worker, and I get to pick up to 2 resources from that space and add it to my little storage here. Now that is considered a heated action because according to this heater over here, my heater marker is here on the number 2 space. If I draw a line to the right and go down 1, it's on the middle ring, and that's where he is. So this area here is considered heated, and he does not get sick. Next, I'm going to take a build action, and build actions are always a heated action. I'm going to use this worker here, just put him off to the other board, and now I can construct up to 3 different buildings by spending the appropriate resources. All right, so for this one time only, I moved the build board over here just so you can see what it looks like. These are all the different buildings that you can construct. Now, there are some other buildings off to the side that you could get access to if you pass the right laws and so on and so forth. The build cost is underneath each column. This is 1 wood, 2 wood, 3 wood, 4 wood, and a steam core, 5 wood and a steam core, and then this is 2 wood, 3 wood, and 4 wood. This is like housing. These are more advanced structures, like a wall drill that lets you drill out those resources on the edge of the map. Coal thumpers, the beacon that we need, the infirmary, I can't read that, hothouse, sawmill, hunter's hut, medical post, and so on. So we're going to be building 3 of these structures. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and build 3 structures. It doesn't have to be exactly 3. You can build up to 3. These 2 tents are 2 wood each, and this gathering post is 1, so a total of 5 wood. So I'm going to take this 5 wood and pay it back to the bank, and 1 will go here, 1 will go here, and this gathering post will go there. The next thing I would like to do is use a building. I'd like to use this gathering hut. The gathering hut allows me to take a resource from every adjacent space. And again, this is adjacent and this is adjacent. Each hex has 2 spaces on it. So I can take 1 from here, 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 and 1 from here. So I'm going to assign a worker to do that. And this is a heated action because we are in the middle range here, the middle row, and that middle area is heated, this middle ring here. So I'm going to take 1 from here, 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 and 1 from here. Not bad, not bad. And we're going to take another build action. I'm going to move this worker over to our other board, and I'm going to build these 3 buildings. These are 1 apiece, and this is 2, another tent. So this workshop I'll put up here. The hunter's hut I'll put here, and the other tent I'll put there. Now, because we constructed a workshop, as soon as you build one, you can start researching a new technology. In the very beginning of the game, you are dealt 4 technology cards. And unlike the video game, these are the only cards that you get. If you're familiar with the video game, you get a wide selection of different technologies. Here, you are dealt 4 at random, and the workshop, whenever built, allows you to start one for free. And we're going to take a look at these. And heating lamp. The remove snow action is always heated. That's nice. Generator safety, just glancing at this, it looks like it helps remove stress from the generator at certain times. Gain additional 1 food for every 2 hunting symbols, okay, on the hunter's hut. And charcoal kiln upgrade. Whenever you use a charcoal kiln, you may remove a tree from any map tile instead of spending a wood. Okay, I kind of like that. That'll help me clear out tiles and put new buildings down. So I think I'm going to start researching this. This timer down here will tell us how far to put the research token on that track. So to illustrate that, this is the charcoal kiln upgrade, needs 4 time to research. So we're going to count from this spot here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever our marker reaches that location, we will have researched that technology. All right, time to put our children to work. I'm going to break the rules by playing this one card, and typically children are not allowed to work unless you've enacted child labor or something like that. We can play one of these citizen cards per round, and I think this is a good time. We're going to use a child at the workshop that we just built to perform one workshop effect. By the way, we paid 4 wood to construct the structures that we did from the previous turn there. So we're going to just actively put this out to show that we've used our 1 card for this round. And now we get to perform the workshop action. I'm going to go ahead and move this meeple up there. And again, that is a heated action. A, because the building is a red one, and we have enough heat to power the red one. And we're also within that particular range. When we perform a workshop action, we can do 2 different things twice. We can move the research marker here, this token, backwards toward our marker by 1 space, and we can do that again twice, or we can upgrade a building. We have no wood in storage right now, so with this particular child card, it says perform 1 workshop effect, not 2, just 1. So this is like half as good as if someone else went to the workshop and actually performed the action. So we're just going to move this research token from the 5 to the 4, and that way it'll get done sooner. At this point, I think just taking 2 gather actions to finish off our turn might be the best way to go. I'm trying to clear space for more resources, just so I can build more structures. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring an engineer here to gather this 2 coal. And this is heated because this marker over here is protecting the middle ring. And that's 1. And this engineer is going to come over here. Although, no, I want to keep that there for the gathering post. I could come down here and take this 1 wood. I'm very tempted to do that. That would clear these 2 spaces so that I can maybe put the beacon over here, and that will fulfill my objective by round 4. But I'll have to do that on a future round. Oh, it's tempting. Do I do that? Okay. Let's just do this. I think I'm going to need this wood. I'm going to take this 2 wood and do that. And again, children cannot work, so they pretty much are just going to sit there and cause trouble. Now we move on to the dusk phase. Resolve scenario and event display cards. Nothing to resolve there. Reveal and resolve a dusk card. Again, there were 2 cards in the dusk deck. We're going to draw 1 at random, and it is the inevitable. This is the card that is always in this particular deck, not one of the random social dispute cards that we put in there at the beginning of the game. This says, every day we fight a bitter struggle against hunger, cold, and disease. There will be losses. Flip every sickness marker on its skull side to its syringe side. These sickness markers have 2 sides. The syringe, which is where the game starts them on, and then they can flip over to the skull side. Whenever this gets flipped back over from the skull to syringe, someone dies. We don't like that. Luckily, no one was on the skull side, so no one died. For each corpse you have, gain 1 sick citizen. The dusk card that we drew, because it is the one that is always in the game, goes into the discard pile. There's nothing on here telling us to discard it. The one that's left here is one of these randomly put in social dispute cards. These are discarded after they are resolved. Now, this told us that we had to, for each corpse, gain 1 sick citizen. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 sick child to that. Luckily, nothing's going to happen right now. Penalties for having sick people are listed under these particular segments. Once we reach 5, then we'll start flipping over these sickness syringe tiles to the skull side. Not something we want to do, but for right now, we are okay. Next is the hunger phase. Here we decrease hunger by spending food as much as possible. And then we sort of reset that and then feed citizens indicated by the current round. So the way this is going to work is we are going to see, is anyone hungry? This red marker says no, we're on the 0. We do not have to spend any food here to feed our hungry people because there are none. Next, we're going to look at the current round that we're on. There are 3 columns here. This is a child icon. This is an engineer icon, and this is a worker icon. Because we are on round 1, we are under the child column. So we are going to take a look at how many children we have. We have 8 children, and we have 8 food. So we're going to feed all of them, and both of our markers are now at 0. No one has gone hungry. If we didn't have enough food to feed all of those children, this marker would start going up the track here, showing that people are hungry from the last round, and, well, bad things will happen. Last but not least for round 1, the night phase. Return spent citizen tokens and meeples. Lay down citizen meeples in heated shelters, and each citizen meeple without a warm place to sleep gets sick. That is why I built these tents. I didn't build enough of them, but I can put 2 meeples per tent. And the children icons are just considered 1. So I could do 1, 2. I could do, there's a tent here, 1, 2. And I can put a tent here. 1, 2, okay, so we're going to have 3 engineers get sick. Probably not a great thing. Do we want to spread the love a little bit? Maybe we should. We'll do something like that. I have no other tents, unfortunately. So 2 engineers are going to get sick, 1 worker is going to get sick, and 1 child is going to get sick. Not ideal. Just as a quick reminder, all of those tents were considered heated because they were either in the generator ring or the medium ring, the middle ring. And because of that, we did not have to add any more coal to make sure that these locations were heated. I have now moved up my markers as appropriate. We have 2 sick children, 2 sick workers, and 2 sick engineers. None of them are in this section yet, so we're still pretty good. Round 2, we start with the dawn phase. Pass leadership marker clockwise. We don't have to worry about that. Move round marker and resolve development and scenario trigger tokens. Well, we have nothing to worry about there, so all we're going to do is move this up here. We will have to feed the engineers this turn, so we're going to need to bring in a bit more food. Next, we go on to the morning phase. Reveal and resolve a morning card. We'll go ahead and do that right now. All right, so light under the snow. Our people have spotted a few flashes of light under the snow near the edge of the settlement. They are not sure what is there. With enough time and resources, we can uncover it. Do I send workers to dig it out, place 1 spent worker token in the supply, or add, this will add a certain card to the dusk deck, which is here? Or do I, we don't have enough people, and then add this particular card to the dusk deck? Either way, this card will be discarded because according to this, whatever action we choose, this is gone. So I think I will place a spent worker token in this supply over here. This means I have 1 less worker to use coming up during the worker placement part of the round. But I'm going to go ahead and now discard this particular card. All right, so I found card D042 and added it to the dusk deck, shuffled these up, and we are good to go. We're going to move on to the generator phase. We can fuel the generator if we want. I'm not going to. Gain a sick citizen based on the heat and cold markers. So we're going to take a look at this track right here. Any spaces in between the generator here and the cold token here, this is a worker. They get sick, and that goes up by 1. Not ideal, but we're still not in deep trouble yet. Drop coal from the bank into the top of the generator. This is where that large contraption comes into play. So we're just going to put that here. Maybe I'll keep this here, although it's still going to block a lot of things. Okay, so we're going to, in a perfect world, take a look at this number. We are on the number 2 space here. I'll go ahead and zoom in on that. So we are here. So we're going to generate 2 from the bank, 2 of these coal, and we are going to drop it into the top of this. Any that come out, we add to the track behind it. 1 black cube came out, so I put that as a stress on the generator track here. And now we are going to reset this marker back to 0. We'll have to fill it with more coal if we want to keep our people warm. Next, we move on to the weather phase. We're going to reveal a weather card, advance the cold marker and heat range indicators, gain food based on the hunting symbols on hunters' huts if we have any, advanced scouts on expedition stacks, and move the storm marker and possibly resolve a storm. All right, so we drew this weather card from the weather deck, and we are going to start advancing some tokens along this track here. So this gets moved up by 1. The yellow piece goes up by 1. The orange piece goes up by 1. And the red stays where it is. We're also going to feed our people based on how many hunters' huts we have. We do have 1 hunter's hut over there, and there's 1 symbol on that hunter's hut. So we're going to get 1 food, and I'm going to track that down here along the bottom. You probably can't see that. There it is. Okay, so now we have 1 food. Yay. That's going to get us very far. If we had any expeditions, we would move that worker or that scout team ahead that many spaces on the expeditions card, but we don't have anything like that yet. And now we're going to move the storm marker on this tracker here backward toward us. And again, once these meet, we may experience a nasty storm. Well, we will. Phase 5 is the preparation phase. We choose our advisor, optional. Resolve sickness marker effects. Well, we have no sickness marker effects right now, so we're going to skip that part as well. Do we want to use our foreman advisor? This says only if you exhaust motivation. Again, there are various hope tokens, and these are 2 of them. These are active in my tableau. This flame symbol is motivation, and this is justice. There's also a care one that I do not have on my tracker. I could exhaust my motivation one by flipping it to the spent side. And if I do that, I can place a near tile. I don't know if I really want to do that right now. I can also use my call to rise 1 time only based on how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4 citizen cards. I can draw 1, 2, 3, or 4 citizen cards if I have at least 1, 2, 4, or 6 hope tokens. I have 2, so I would draw 2 more of those people cards. You never get them back, by the way. So once you spend the people in your hand, they're gone. I think there's a way to get them back through deaths, but don't quote me on it. Only my 2nd game playing. I don't think we're going to utilize either one of those effects for right now. I kind of like having positive hope tokens. All right, so we're back into the action phase. Now, quick note, my lavalier microphone was actually hung up on the stand here, so you may have heard me sort of away from the camera at times. I apologize, but fixed now. Anyway, first action of the 2nd round. You'll note that I have 1 less meeple here because as the result of our choice from the morning phase, we had to give up 1 of our worker meeples to do whatever is going to happen at some point. Okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is play our citizen card here. This says use a building platform. So the engineer would typically use the platform, but this allows us to use a worker. And when we do that, we gain +1 hope or -1 discontent. So this worker is going to come here. First thing I should do is really fuel this. I'm going to spend 2 of my coal, although I'm going to have to do 3. You know what? I'm going to do 4. We've got a lot of sick people right now. I'm going to go ahead and spend 4 and bump it up to here. That way yellow, well, you know what? Let's do 3 for right now. We can always bump it up later. But so far, medium ring, orange, red, and close are heated. I'm not worried about the yellows. Okay, so I'm going to spend 3 coal into the bank to heat that. Now we'll do this. Just to make sure that this action is heated, we get to gain +1 hope or -1 discontent. Now, the law that I passed says Whenever you increase hope or discontent and choose to draw a token, you may choose a specific hope discontent token to draw. Now here's the thing. I'm also going to enact this care house here. This allows me to gain a specific one as well. The way this works is I'm going to draw one from the bag, and if I get this, or if I have any of this care, which I don't here, I can flip it to the positive side. But if I'm unlucky in my draw, I would not be able to flip anything over. But this public council allows me to pick. So I'm actually getting 2 hope here. I'm going to draw one from this, and I'm going to draw one from the citizen card that I just played. So I basically get to choose 2 tokens to pull out here. And I think I'm going to choose the care one for this card. And I may want another, maybe just, I don't know. I'll just go into the hope bag here. All right, so again, normally you would not be able to look in here and pick, but I've got the public council, so I don't have to worry about that. There's the care one that I wanted, and it says once I draw it, I get to, once I draw the token, if I have any that are exhausted, I can flip it to the positive side. So this would come out like this, and then that card says flip that over to the positive side. Beautiful. And I get to gain +1 hope or -1 discontent. I mean, I could lose a discontent if I want to, but I think I'm just going to take another one of my choice. Maybe justice, maybe motivation. I'll just take motivation. I don't know which one I'm going to need, but I'll take the motivation. And that comes in on its exhausted side, however. Yeah, +1 hope or -1 discontent is all it is. So I get to choose which one I want. Normally that would be a blind draw, but so it goes. So because I enacted this law, it says unlock the care house building. The care house costs 2 wood to build. When the law is introduced, you may immediately build it by paying its cost. All right, I think that's a good one. If it costs 2 wood, I will go ahead and just spend the 2 wood that I have in here. And where am I going to put this? This allows me to cure and treat people. Cure is moving their sickness back to the left on the sickness track, and cure is flipping it from the skull side to the other side. So let's see. Oh, this says +3. Oh, this means I have to spend an active cure to do that. Ooh. So I can treat 2, and if I spend a cure token by exhausting it, I get an additional 3. I don't know if I'm going to do that. But I'm going to build this anyway because I need to start treating my sick. I'm going to put that in my only empty spot right there. Well, I'm going to need more resources. So for my next action, I will use a worker to cut the gathering hut. Each small building can hold 1 worker at a time, or 1 meeple at a time. The large buildings can hold 2. So I can't keep doing this action over and over and over again. All right, so I'm going to take from every adjacent spot 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get 3 wood and 1 coal. Not terrible. All right, so I really need wood if I'm going to construct. So I hate to do this, but I think I'm going to send an engineer over here and just gather these resources. That's going to be just 1, 2 here. Done and done. Next, I'm going to take the build action, which is always heated. I'm going to put this guy off to the side, and we're going to construct these 3 buildings, which is going to cost us 5 wood to do. So, goodbye wood. That's going to hurt. But we have a tent, which I will put there. We have a sawmill. Now, the way the sawmill works is any trees on its hex you can cut down for 3 wood. Now, it costs 2 to build, but it'll pay for itself if you got a spot with a lot of trees. Now, you're looking, well, there's no spot here anywhere on the board that has trees on it other than this, and then there's 1 down there to the bottom. So, but when upgraded, you can take it from any adjacent hex. So my thought process is place this here, then upgrade it, and then I'll be able to start just chopping down these trees for extra wood because we're starting to run a little low. And then a hunter's hut. We have no free spaces, which means we're going to have to get rid of something. We've got a lot of coal here. So I think I'm going to just replace this and be done with it. And that gives us another hunter's hut. That sadly goes away into the nether. So our choices are a bit limited. We've got 1 food to feed 12 of these engineers for this round, because we are on round 2, second column. So we're going to assign engineer and the worker to both of our hunter's huts. They're 4 food apiece. That's 8, so 1 plus 8 is 9. So we're now not up to 9 food. Still not a whole lot, but at least it's something. Last but not least, let's just go ahead and use the care house that we just built. Do I want to exhaust our care token in order to do 5 instead of 2? Well, we have 5. We could totally do that. I'm concerned that I feel like I need active stuff. I don't know. So I'm just going to use it for 2, and I'm just going to bump this worker from 3 to 1. And I believe that is all of our actions. The children, again, do not do anything unless a specific law has been passed. So we move on to the dusk phase. Resolve scenario and event display cards. Reveal and resolve a dusk cards. Well, we don't have any scenario or event display cards to worry about, so we'll just go ahead and draw a card from this deck and see what it is. It's an automaton. This is the card that we put into the deck. We had a 1 in 2 chance of drawing it. We dug up an automaton. How did it end up? Come on, focus, camera. How did it end up here under the snow? No one knows. Its leg is missing, but parts of it are visible under the snow and ice. With enough effort, we could fix it. Only if you exhaust motivation, place 1 automaton meeple in the supply, place 1 spent engineer token. So we can give up an engineer for a round to get an automaton. We have to spend a coal to use it. Or we could just gain a steam core and place a spent engineer token. So we waste another engineer for a steam core. Or we haven't got any spare workforce. Leave the machine buried. We gain a discontent. Well, I feel like we've got the motivation, and I wouldn't mind the extra worker. I hate the fact that we have to spend coal to use it, but I'm not going to complain too much. So I'm going to exhaust our motivation by flipping that over. And I have to place a spent meeple engineer token in the supply. That means next round we will not have an engineer to use. And now we just remove this card. All right, fine. All right, on to the hunger phase. So this isn't as bad as it looks. So what we're going to do is we're going to decrease hunger by spending food. Well, right now, no one is hungry yet. Now we try and feed people. Now, we only look at the bottom of these segments before feeding. So right now, it's fine. There's nothing to resolve. This has to be out here for an entire round in order to really kick in these negative results. So no hunger. Everything stays the way it should be. And now we're going to attempt to feed 12 people. Unfortunately, we only have 9 food, so this goes up to 3. This discontent does not get resolved right now. On the next round, if I do not take care of this, this will kick in. We are now into the night phase. Return spent citizen tokens and meeples. Lay down citizen meeples in heated shelters, and each citizen meeple without a warm place to sleep gets sick. All right, so I have distributed the people amongst the various tents. 2, 2, 2, 2. And we are left with an engineer and a worker that have to sleep out in the cold. That means 1 engineer and 1 worker are sick. Both of them are still under the 5 threshold over here, so nothing really to worry about. Round 3, dawn phase, pass leadership marker, move the round marker, and resolve development and scenario trigger icons. We're almost there. Almost there. There is a scenario there, so we need to get that beacon built this round. Now we reveal and resolve a morning card, which is here. Oh boy, wild berries. We found some berries under the snow. They must have grown before the great frost and then frozen. Our engineers say that they are suitable for eating and rich in vitamins. We can place 1 spent engineer token in the supply to add this card to the deck. Let's collect them and search for other berries nearby, then prepare some food. We can place one spent worker token in the supply, place a fire tile, gain 3 sick workers, and gain 3 food. Or plus 1 discontent. Oh man. If they test the plants, maybe they can grow more from... You know what? I'm very tempted to do that. So that means we have to place another spent... Oh man, that sucks. So now I've got 2 of these spent engineer tokens. So I'm down 2 engineers for this upcoming round. Do I really want to do that? I may have no choice. Okay, so I did that. Now I have to add card DO64 to the deck. Now we move on to the generator phase, and I can take this time to further fuel the generator if I want to, so that this can come up to here and no one gets sick. This is an engineer icon, and I'm already at 3. I'm very tempted to spend one of my 5 coal. I'll do that. I'm going to put this into the bank, move that up by 1 so that no one will get sick in doing that. Gain 6 citizens based on the heat or cold. Don't have to worry about that. Drop coal into the top of the generator. This was a 3 and this was a 3. So no matter what I did here, I still would have dropped 3 of these cubes from the bank into this there. All right, what came out? Oh, it looks like 1. Okay, so there's a good bit trapped in there. I'm a little concerned that they're all going to come out at once and ruin me. Oh boy. Check for generator breakdown and reset the heat marker. Well, it hasn't broken down, but now we are back to the start again. Next is the weather phase. We're going to draw a card, which we did, and we're going to move stuff up. That goes up by 1. 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 Wonderful. All right. More coal to spend. I'm going to gain a single food for every hunter symbol I have. I have 2 hunters' huts, and they have a symbol each on it. So I'm going to gain 2 food. And do I have any expeditions? No. I also do not move the frost marker there, so that stays exactly where it is. All right, so as part of our preparation phase, we are going to do one of these things if we want to. I think I've decided that I want to cash in. I'm in trouble. I'm going to cash in on this call to rise. So I'm going to draw more citizen cards based on the number of hope tokens that I have. I have a total of 4 hope tokens, so I'm going to draw a total of 3 cards. And these are the 3 you ended up with. There's a child one, perform up to 2 construct sub-actions, gather resources. We have to use a worker for that, so we can remove a tree and gain 2 wood. That could be useful. And a cookhouse. A child can use the cookhouse, spend food to reduce hunger by 6, 12, or 18. That might be good for the next round, but for right now we actually need to produce food. So that's going to go into our hand for now, and we'll figure out what to do with it later. All right, so no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I need to get that beacon built. We are 1 turn away, so I need to gather up enough wood to build that beacon. So I'm going to do the remove snow with this worker. That is always a cold action. Actually, let's go ahead and add coal here. I'm going to do... what am I going to do? 1, 2, 3... I've got 4 coal. I could add all 4 of my coal and bring it up to there. That makes sure that, yeah, I think I'm going to have to do that. Oof, this is, it's awful. Oh, we're running out quickly. Okay, so getting back to the whole thing, drawing 2 tiles. It's a cold action, so my 1 worker over here becomes sick. So he's on the 3. And now we're going to place these down. Oh, great. Okay, so 1 and 2. Maybe we can get a gathering post over here, set up something. I don't know. All right, so let's just reveal. That's 3 wood and an empty tile. There's a bonus of 3 food. I will take it. 1, 2, 3, up to 5. And I have to put some trees down. All right, it looks like just 2 trees. I might just build over them. As much as I need the wood. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Not terrible. for my next action, I think I'm going to play this card. This is perform this action on an unoccupied space that has one or more trees. Remove 1 tree and gain 2 wood. Okay, so we're going to be constructing over this anyway. So I'm going to use this worker here to gather that wood, and count this action as heated. So that's going to come over here as if I used it, and we're going to remove 1 tree, and we will gain 2 wood. All right, we're gonna need some more, but hey, so far so good. Okay, so here's the thing. We're probably gonna put the beacon here. We're gonna have to accept the fact that this tree is gonna go away. We need more wood, but before I can even use my automaton, I need coal. So I think one of our workers should go and get coal. If I grab it from up there, it is not heated per this chart here. The far distance here, and yeah, it's not covered. So if I do this and pick up 2 and spend 1 of them to use him. Now, do I put the automaton here to grab these? I think I might do that. I kind of want coal for the next round as well. The automaton can go pick up that coal up there and not worry too much. I mean, he doesn't freeze or anything. But do I have enough wood is the problem. Before I do that, let's do this. I could send someone over here, and I am heated over here to pick up more of this. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to come over here, pick up 2 wood. Now I've got enough for the beacon and possibly 1 other building, but I'm not exactly sure what I would make yet. Maybe the charcoal kiln, because I am researching an upgrade to the charcoal kiln. So I think I just do that. I think I send this one. I already spent my coal. I'm going to bring him up here and get rid of these 2 coal at this location so I can get more for the next round. I'm going to send a builder to come over here and build up to 3 buildings. I'm going to build the beacon and the charcoal kiln. The charcoal kiln can go here, and the beacon can go here. So we built it. The tree, unfortunately, goes away, but we don't have much of a choice. Just to keep things moving, I think we have enough coal for right now. My big issue is getting wood, because I'm going to need that to upgrade this so I can start cutting down those trees over there. That's my biggest concern right now. So I think, but food is also a concern, as is medical. So I'm going to send 1 engineer down here. And again, this is all heated because of this here. All medium and short are heated. This will let me cure 2. So I'm going to move, and this may be off camera. I'm going to move the orange and blue markers over to the 2. So right now I've got everything, the orange, green, and blue sickness tokens on 2 each. Okay. And I've got 1 engineer left. I made a mistake, I believe. I had my engineer left over there from the previous dusk phase. Forgot to bring him back at the end of it. So I still have 1 engineer left. The other one from the morning phase is still there, but I still have this guy. Very tempted to do a hunter's hut to sort of stave off the food that is going to be required for when the children come around again. Okay, so I don't want to do the charcoal kiln now because I can do that on the next round when I research the technology. So I think what I'm going to do is probably just get some food with this. And I'll just bring it up here, and I'll go up for food on the food track. After it's all said and done, this is what this mess looks like. We are now on to the dusk phase, where we resolve scenario and event display cards, reveal and resolve a dusk card. Okay, so I'll put that up here for now. Resolve. Successful experiment. Okay. This must not be this then. Okay, successful experiment. One of our engineers has green fingers. She was able to not only grow this new kind of berry, but also crossbreed it with another plant. This resulted in a nutrient-rich fruit that can grow well in harsh conditions. Place this card in the event display, and this card counts as one hunting symbol. Huh, okay. So we're going to keep this somewhere in this mess. I'm not exactly sure where, but we'll find a space for it. We still have this social dispute card in here that we still need to resolve at some point, probably next round. The moment I've been dreading, the hunger phase. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to feed the hungry from last round. We're down to 0. We go 1, 2, 3. Now we've got 6 food for 22 people. 22 minus 6 is 16. So, yeah. We've got to feed 16 plus 8 on the next round. Oh, man. I am so screwed. There's no way I'm going to get that much food. I'm sorry. There's no way. Okay. Return spent citizens, tokens, and meeples. Lay down citizens, shelters. All right. Let's go ahead and do that. Night phase. So everyone is sleeping inside except for these two right here. 1 worker and 1 engineer. And luckily no one is in this segment yet. So no one is really going to resolve anything nasty. All right, moving on to round 4, dawn phase. Pass the leadership marker. Move the round marker and resolve development and scenario trigger tokens. Well, there are a couple of those, so let's get right down to it. This development is now done. We move here. And now we have the, it's somewhere. It's an upgrade. There we go. The charcoal kiln upgrade. So now whenever you use a charcoal kiln, you may remove a tree from any map tile instead of spending 1 wood. Okay, well there's a few trees that I could just possibly use at some point, so that would be really cool to have. So this is now active. I'm going to place it over here for right now. In order to get another research, I believe, we're going to have to probably use the workshop. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at the scenario token. Moving that off here, and we're going to resolve this. Okay, so round 4. If the beacon is built, go to A, otherwise go to B. Well, we did build the beacon. We can gain +1 hope or -1 discontent, reveal and resolve number SO2. Okay, so I think we're going to gain a hope, and I'm going to put this motivation to the positive side so that we have it. All right, so SO2 is this one. Okay. Finding Winterhome. The beacon's light guided refugees scattered across the frozen wasteland to our settlement. Amongst them were scouts from Winterhome, as it turned out, as it is nearest occupied settlement. However, the news they brought is alarming. They say no other beacons were lit, not even the ones at Winterhome. Not even Gondor? Wow. What has happened to Winterhome? Place number SO5 white side up in the expedition display. Choose A or B. Let the refugees enter our city, +1 hope and gain some stuff. Well, looks like just people. Or get rid of them. Well, let's take a look at what we have here. If we gain 5 workers, 1, 2, 3, 4 more mouths to feed, but we get a 6th worker meeple, I'm very tempted to do that. And then we gain 1 engineer, which doesn't do anything. It just gives us another mouth. 3 children, 1, 2, 3. Ooh. The extra children, that's 3 children meeples, as opposed to just 2. Again, we don't have like labor or anything for them, so I'm really tempted to send these people away. -1 hope. Based on our food situation, getting more mouths to feed, I would only get 1 extra worker meeple and 1 extra child meeple that I really can't use. So I'm actually going to lose a single hope. I have this spent one here that I'm just going to return back to the bag. And now I have just basically 1 of each of the hope tokens. I don't like sending people away, but sorry, we have mouths to feed. We're just going to have to deal with it. All right, couple of things. I did check, and you do just prepare the next technology. You don't have to use the workshop in order to do it. So we're going to choose out of these 3 I think the generator safety system, there's a lot of stress on the generator right now, so I'm gonna try and use this in the future to remove more stress cubes than normal, but it's gonna take 4 time to do it. So unfortunately, we're back to where we started with this thing. We'll go ahead and put that 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. Okay, so we're just going to prepare that, and hopefully we'll get it at some point. The other thing is, it told us to reveal scenario 105. So it revealed this white side up. It looks like it wants us to start an expedition and get to Winterhome. What happens, I don't know, but the results are on the back should we get there. Next, we move on to the morning phase. So we're going to draw a card and see what it says. Illegal distillery. All right, some of our citizens consume alcohol from an unknown source. Well, we can let them have their moonshine, but then we add this card to the deck. I cannot imagine that's a good card. We can start a public campaign or send guards to destroy it, only if you have active justice. Well, we do, but I really don't want to spend it. I'd hate to... Oh, that means we'll go without a worker for this round. Oh, okay. Well, I think that's what we're going to have to do. So I'm going to place a spent worker token on this thing here. And as a reminder to myself, big head, I'll put that right there, just as a reminder that I can't use them this round. But we do discard this. We don't add anything to the Dusk deck. And I think that's it. Generator phase. We're going to, if we want to, fuel the generator. I could spend a coal, that way no one gets sick, but it's just a child, so I'm going to go ahead and let that happen. So now we've got 3 sick of each. We're still not here yet, which is good. Next, we drop coal from the bank into the... Okay, so we are here at 3, so we're going to drop 3 of these cubes from the bank into here. And check the drawer. There's 1. Really? There's only 1 in here? Oh, there's possibly 2. It's in the back. Oh, no. 1, 2. I think 3. Okay, well. Oh, 3. Okay, so 1, 2. We've got 5 on here now. That could be a bad sign. Oh, okay. Next, check for generator breakdown and reset the heat marker. Next, we reveal a weather card. The blue and yellow go up by 1, up to here, and the yellow goes up here. And that's it. Okay, so we gain 1 food for every hunter symbol that we have. We have 1 from this dusk card that we got. So that's 1. And we have 2 hunters' huts, each with a symbol on it each. So that's a total of 3 food. So I'm going to go up 3 food on the hunter track, or on the food track that you guys probably couldn't see. Yeah, you're not going to see it. I gained 3 food from 0 to 3. Any expedition, I'd move up some, and then, oh, that's not good. The store marker, 1, 2. It is closing in. Not here yet, but it is closing in. All right, now technically we would move on to the preparation phase in which we could use our advisor. I'm not going to do that. So we're going to jump right into the action phase. And I think the first thing I need to do is get resources. We are running low on wood. The only source of wood are these scattered pieces of wood around the map. We really need to upgrade this so we can start honing in on that. But that is only 3 wood apiece. So we only have 15 wood there. My thought process is there is a wood wall over there to the right. I'd like to get an outer tile here and possibly build one of these wall drills so that we have an endless supply of wood. We could then use that wood at the charcoal kiln to generate coal. At least that's what I'm thinking. But to get there, we're going to have to do a little bit of, well, we'll see. The first thing I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to come to the gatherer hut here, and I'm going to gather everything around it, which is just these 2 resources. But that clears the way for more buildings. So that might be a good thing, but those go there. Okay, now I've got a coal that I can actually, before I do that, I had to spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. That would be, if I spent 5 coal, I don't have 5 coal. Well, I think that person's just going to have to get sick because I don't have the coal to do that. Actually, I could have had the coal to do it. Let's quickly retcon. So that was here, that was here. I'm going to spend a coal, I think, to use the automaton, which doesn't care about such things, up here to get this 2 coal. And we're going to add it there. That gives us 4 coal to spend. I don't know if that was really, I don't think that really would have mattered because I can only go 1, 2, 3, 4 at this point. What I could do is, yeah, I guess there's, all right, I'm going to have to do it. So come here, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm going to gain a sick worker. So my sick worker goes from 3 to 4 over here. And I'm just going to use this building and gain these, okay. So, because none of this is powered yet, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. So I'm going to use all of this coal to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now everything is powered up to low and medium range. So everything from here on out, here and here, will be powered. So, or heated, I should say. So what do I do? I need to get the wood to upgrade that. I need a wood, according to my build, to upgrade. I need 1 wood to upgrade that. So I think I'll use the workshop. So I'm going to bring an engineer over here to use the workshop, and I can take 2 actions with it. I can move the technology marker back, or I can upgrade buildings, or I can do, either or. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend this 1 wood to upgrade this sawmill, and I'm going to push the technology marker back to 7. And again, that may be difficult for you folks to see, but it's there. So I think it goes without saying that we're going to need some wood. So I'm going to bring one of my workers over here. And because it's upgraded, I can now remove a tree from an adjacent tile and get 3 wood for it. So one of these trees go away, and I get 1, 2, 3 right there. I think it would also behoove me to start working on these hunters' huts. I've got 2 workers, so I'm thinking a hunter's hut there, and the other hunter's hut is around here somewhere. There it is. So that would be a total of 8 food. So my food is going to go from 3 plus 8 is 11. Now I think is an appropriate time to use this citizen card. Spend 4, 8, or 12 food to reduce hunger by 6, 12, or 18. Well, I have enough for the 8 food. I could use... No, I can't. I have 11. So I'm going to spend... Well, first I've got to assign this child, which isn't doing anything anyway, to the cookhouse, which is right there. And that is a heated action. And we're going to spend 8 food. We're going to go from 11 to 3. And that reduces our hunger by 12. So from 16 down to 4. Okay, that wasn't terrible. But at least the hunger and food are toward the left, the very left. So we used our 1 citizen for this turn. Now here's the thing, we only have 2 engineers left for this round. What do we use them for? We cannot send engineers out on the beacon because, unless we retcon it and simply switch them around, I could totally just do that. In fact, maybe I should. I'm going to retcon it and just say that this person did it instead, although that would have made them... Actually, let's use a different one. We'll have them do the hunter's hut. That works. We'll send this one out on an expedition and move them to the path to Winterhome over here. And lastly, for that engineer, I think we need to start working on this to get to that wall. Oh boy, but I'm concerned about health. Oh, this is gonna be awful. Okay. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna just, that's gonna get him sick. Oh no, do I do it? Fine, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna push the engineer sickness up by 1 to remove some snow. We're gonna draw a tile and put it over there. Oh, that says 5 food. Oh, I'll take it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome, and I get to add 2 wood to that location. Okay, that's something the automaton could probably get at some point. Then we'll build that wall over here because I want to get that wood wall going as soon as possible. And I do believe we are out of meeples to assign. We are now entering the dusk phase. So, according to our little guide card here, you think I'd have this memorized by now. Resolve scenario and event display cards. Okay. I don't think I have any to resolve that are dusk anyway. Reveal and resolve a dusk card. Okay. Okay, well, it's only one. Desperation. If desperate times call for desperate measures, then we are free to act as desperately as we wish. If you have active hope tokens of each type, choose one. Well, I do. That's awesome. Do I want -1 discontent, place 1 near tile or 1 far tile, perform 2 workshop effects? Humana. Okay. Workshop effects are really good because I can upgrade. I mean, I could just upgrade twice and be done with it. What would that mean for me? What could I upgrade? I'm thinking if I upgrade the hunter's huts, I'll have a lot more tokens. I'm also concerned about coal. Do I want to place... You know what? I'm going to go ahead and perform 2 workshop effects. So all I'm going to do is spend... The hunter's huts are on the left side, the very left. I just need 1 wood to upgrade them. So I'm going to upgrade both of my hunter's huts to their upgraded side, and they'll provide me with more food every time I use them. All right, so we concluded the desperation, and that is now removed from the game. And the top one from here will be moved in, and we're going to take this and shuffle these up. I swear I'll do a better job next time. All right, so hopefully that's that. Okay, so from there, we move on to the hunger phase. Decrease hunger by spending food. All right, well, there's 4 hunger, so I need to decrease this from 8 to 4, so we're fine there. Then we resolve and reset the hunger marker, which we don't need to do. We're at 0. And now feed citizens indicated by the current round. We're on round 4, so we need to feed 8 children, which is here. So we feed 4 of them, but 4 go hungry. But that's all we really have to worry about feeding for the following round, which isn't all that terrible. Lastly, the night phase. After it's all said and done, everyone's got a place to sleep, except for these poor kids. That was planned so that this would go up to 4 and no one gets into this next section over here. But now we're kind of at our max threshold. We really need to start curing people and treating them. Otherwise, crap's going to hit the fan pretty quickly. Round 5, starting with the dawn phase. All right, move the round marker, resolve development and scenario triggers. All right, nothing too fancy going on here, although we will have to feed some engineers this turn. We're going to need to feed a total of 12, so we'll have to worry about that at some point. Moving on to morning, reveal and resolve a morning card. All right. Criticizing the leaders. A man climbed the platform and started shouting. He criticized the state of society, undermining our decisions as leaders. Many of those listening to him nodded their heads in silent agreement. How should we react? Only if you have act of justice. I can just remove this thing, but I have to... Another spent worker. Actions are worth more than words. Let us show our people how we care about them. +1 care. Increase hunger by 1. For each worker and engineer meeple in the supply. That would be 4. He's here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could increase hunger by 7, but I get +1 care. I kind of like that, and I can choose because I'd be drawing a good token. I could use the public council and one hope to so I can choose what comes in there. I'm very tempted to do that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I need my workers at this point. I don't want to be down a second worker. So what's gonna happen is I'm going to do option number 2. And because I have the council, the public council, I can choose which one I get. And it says +1 care. My current care is already positive. So I'm just going to grab another one out of the box, or out of the bag, as I see fit. And then +1 care that goes to the other side. All right, so now I've got this on my board, which isn't bad. I mean, hope is looking good, but everything else not so much. So now we are going to discard this morning card from the game. All right, so moving on to the generator phase, we're going to fuel the generator if we want to. We have no coal to do that, so unfortunately we gain a sick worker. Oh, that's not good. Now they are in the second area here, so they could possibly get sick. I don't like that at all. Now we're going to look here. We have to drop 4 cubes into there. That could be really bad. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. How many do we get? 1, 2, oh no, 3, 4. Oh my God. Okay, well, lovely. Lovely indeed. All right, well, 4. We're up to 9. We're going to have to clear out some of this. Otherwise, the generator's going to break down and bad things will happen. Oh, that could have gone better. Okay, we reset the heat marker. Moving on to the weather phase, reveal a weather card. Okay. Okay, so, wow, that sucks. Up to here, up to here, up to here, up to here. And, all right, and I get 1 food for each symbol I have. I've got 4 from the Hunter's Huts, because now that they're upgraded, it's 2 symbols apiece, 2, 4, and then I've got this card for 5. So I get 5 food, which I'm already ahead on. That's great. And the expedition moves up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we're getting there. Almost at winter home. But other than that, I think that is the end of the winter phase. And that brings us to, I believe, the advisor phase. Oh, preparation. Choose an advisor, resolve sickness markers and effects. Sickness markers. Well, we have this, and it says we need to flip 1 over. So I guess we'll flip that one over to the skull side. Not good. The next time that flips, we lose a worker. We're going to try and prevent that from happening this round if we can. And preparation phase done, and now we move on to the action phase. All right, I'm not going to lie, we're in pretty bad shape. We've bled to death pretty much on coal. The only thing I can think of is to use more of the charcoal kilns or to reveal some snow and hope that more charcoal comes out. But then gathering those resources will also be an issue. So I'm thinking to start, we use the charcoal kiln with, I hate to use a worker, I really would. Maybe I'll use an engineer. Oh, geez. Yeah. Let's go ahead and use, I'd hate to use an engineer to do this, but I'm going to have him use the charcoal kiln. And per my upgraded technology, whenever you use a charcoal kiln, you may remove a tree from any map tile instead of spending a single wood, because I don't want to spend that, I need it. So I'm going to remove this tree on the bottom here, which I'll probably never get to, and I will gain my wood that way. And I'm going to gain, actually I'm going to gain 4 coal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unfortunately, that means that he did this in an unheated environment, so he is going to get sick, and he is now up to 5 on the sickness meter. Not fantastic. But now that allows me to spend a coal to move this automaton over here to collect this 2 wood, which I desperately need. And build actions are free in this game. So I am thinking, perform up to 2 construct sub-actions. I think getting more charcoal kilns in the short term may help with the whole charcoal problem. Before I take any sort of build action, I am going to spend this 3 coal to go 1, 2, 3, at least to heat any red buildings that I have. So this 3 coal is now gone. We've already spent our automaton, so I'm not worried about him for this particular round, but now we can use red buildings. This sawmill up here is a red building, and the fact that we've heated it enough, we can use it and get more wood. So I am thinking we use one of our workers and we'll cut down one of these trees, and in doing so we get 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be awful. It's going to be so awful. I am going to pick up this steam core. That, of course, is an unheated thing, so an engineer gets sick again, but now I've got this steam core. Great. And now I think I'm going to take a build action. The question is, do I use the child here, probably, to do, not that one, it was this one. Perform up to 2 construct actions. How badly do I need 3 buildings as opposed to 2? That's going to be the question. All right, I don't like it one bit, but I have to do it. I'm not going to build the wall drill this turn. I know I picked up the steam core, but I can't. That would spend all of my wood, and then I would have no wood to spend on my second charcoal kiln. So I'm going to use this card. Perform up to 2 construct sub-actions with a child. So that actually makes it so that I've got more room with these people left over. And for those 2, I am going to build a medical post for 2 and a charcoal kiln for 1. The charcoal kiln can go there, and actually that should probably go here and that there. Actually, it doesn't matter. It won't matter. So medical post and charcoal kiln, the yellows being closer to the range here. Okay, and now I'm unfortunately have to get someone else sick so I can get more charcoal. So I have to spend my wood for that. It was 1, 2, 3. I have 3 wood left. And I'm going to bring a worker over to the charcoal kiln to make, again, I've got that technology. I'm going to get rid of this tree so that I can gain 1, 2, 3, 4 coal. And I'll spend that probably immediately. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm going to do that. All right, so these 2 markers are now right beside each other, which is kind of good. And I think that gave me a sick worker, though. Yeah, I'm up to 6. Okay, wonderful. And now that this yellow is heated, I can use the engineer at the medical post to treat 3. So that will effectively heal. And I'm also going to bring this guy down to the care house while I'm at it. So all in all, that was a total of 5 treat. I think what I may do, however, is exhaust this as my care house action, and that will allow me to treat 5 instead of 2. So I have a total of 8 treat coming to me. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this one is hurt, and I'm going to do 8. All right, not terrible. We had to flip one of our care to do it, but I do have a second one in reserve, so it's not all that bad. last but not least, we're going to need some food. I did have to move up my hunger marker as the result of that one morning card. So I am going to use my last remaining person here to go to an upgraded hunter's hut, which is heated, and just gain 5 food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So both markers are now exactly at 11 each. So I have barely enough to feed what I owe, but now 12 workers are going to go, or 12 engineers are going to go hungry. Not great. Now that we are done with the action phase, we're going to move on to the dusk phase. Resolve scenario and event display cards for the dusk phase. I don't think there are any. And then reveal and resolve a dusk card. Oh boy. All right. Doubts. Okay, this is one of the ones that we added, social dispute. Please, if you have more active hope than active discontent, which I do, you choose one. Oh, yes. Remove up to 4 stress cubes from the stress track. Yes, okay. 1, 2, 3. That's one thing I completely forgot to do. It's a good thing that card. Oh my god. There's a reason why I like having a lot of active hope tokens. All right, well, these are gone. That's going to give me some leeway, but I still need to take care of it for the next round. That could have been really bad. Otherwise, I would have to have chosen one of these nasty things here. So, all right. Well, that is discarded. Fun stuff. And now we have to add this distrust card in. I don't know. We can look at it just to see what's coming up. If you have more hope tokens than discontent. All right, so we want to maintain that strategy. Keep the hope going. Just keep it going. So this is going to get shuffled in here. And we'll do a better job later, but that's it for right now. And now we move on to the hunger phase. So we're going to feed them completely, but now these guys want to eat, so we're back up to 12. Oh, that's going to hurt. Okay. Yeah, now the night phase. So now we got to figure out who's sleeping in the cold. Honestly, it was the same as last round, so I'm just going to push one of the children out into the cold again, and now we've got 4 sickness here for the child. But it's not into this green, or this second area yet, but it is slowly getting there. I could have pushed the orange up, but it's already on the skull side. I'm really trying not to push it. Round 6, Dawn phase. Move the round marker, resolve development, and scenario trigger icons. Well, we land on the storm, but we don't resolve it right now. I think that's the weather phase, but we'll see. Now I'm moving on to the morning phase. Reveal and resolve a morning card. All right. Young Adepts. Some of our... Okay, focus, thank you. Some of our teenagers proved to be very capable of learning. We could afford to spend some time to train them. Yes, I think that might be a good idea. Place this card in the event display. Place 1 child engineer meeple on this card. To look for that in the bag. Place 1 spent engineer token in the supply. Move. Okay, add. I think we're going to do that. I kind of like that idea. Okay, let's go ahead and get that set up then. All right, you know what's everyone's favorite time it is? The generator phase. Hopefully we don't overload the thing. All right, so we don't need to fuel it. We're like right here next to the cold marker, so there's no sick people. We will have to drop... Oh, yeah, generator phase. Drop coal from the bank. So we have to drop 4 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. What came out? 1. Seriously, all 4. Oh, no, not good, Carl. Well, there's probably still more in there, too. I better not shake this thing too much. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3. We're back to where we're going to need to clear some of that for sure. All right, let's move that gently. Okay. Check for generator breakdown and reset the heat marker. All right. Moving on to the weather phase. We're going to draw a card. It's not going to matter because crap is going to hit the fan in a minute. Blue goes up by 1. Yellow goes up by 1. Oh, I need coal badly. All right, well, that's it. I'm going to gain some food. I get 5 total. 4 from the hunter's huts and 1 from the dusk card. So I'm up to 5 food, which you guys can't see. And we move the expedition 2. Oh, we are here. Awesome. And we also move the frost by 2, but we are already there. Let's quickly resolve this. I don't know if there's a timing thing, but winter home. All right. Focus. There we go. After a long and exhausting march, our scouts come back with news about Winterhome. They climbed up to the edge of the city. They stood there speechless, staring at the scene of utter destruction. Most of their buildings were destroyed, and the generator has exploded. Our people found some resources that weren't entirely covered by snow in the City of the Dead. The Recovered City Chronicle describes the shortage of food and citizens' increasing despair, the squabbles, riots, and descent into anarchy, fights for dwindling resources, and the final moments of starvation. The last entry says, "God forgive us, we're eating our dead, there's no hope." Ooh, that's so freaking brutal. If SO3 has not been revealed, which it hasn't been, place SO7 face up in the display. All right, well, we'll quickly look for that. SO7, which is this one. Oh, prepare for the storm. Water home fell during the storm. We must prepare or share their fate. The severity of the storm might forbid us from returning outside. Stockpiles must be made. So I'm going to be contributing food and coal. Okay, well, that's lovely. I have neither, but that's wonderful. That's great. I love it. Okay, great. So that's out. Also, if this is round 7 or earlier, it's round 6. Gain a steam core. Oh, that would have been nice to know beforehand, before I made that engineer sick. 3 wood and 4 coal. Okay. All right. So 3 wood. 1, 2, 3. 4 coal. 1, 2, 3. That's not terrible. I'm not going to say no to that. I need to get a steam core out of it. I've got 2 steam cores now. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with that second one, but it wouldn't hurt to have it. Okay, and then we have to discard this from the game. So I'm just going to simply move this off to the side for now. And this weather card is no longer a thing. All right, and what was I doing? Oh yeah, the weather phase. I think we have to resolve that storm now, which is awful. What was I forgetting? Oh, there's the alone thing, right? I don't think we have to resolve anything there either. Okay. All right, so weather phase. Advanced scouts did that. Move storm and possibly resolve a storm. Okay, so we have to resolve this storm. So out of these remaining scenario cards, there's the storm. All right. If it is round 7 or earlier, go to 1. We were hit by a heavy snowfall. Flip all tents to the ruins side on the maps and on the buildings board. Place the storm marker on 12. Oh boy. Okay. So long story short, we lost the majority of our housing. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. No. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and skip the preparation phase. There are no sickness markers to resolve, and I'm not going to use my foreman advisor, which at some point I probably should, but I love having active hope tokens. Moving on to the action phase, I think the first thing we're going to do is spend 3 of these cubes to move this marker 1, 2, 3. This will at least heat the red buildings for right now. And with that, I could activate my automaton and move it somewhere, but there's nothing really to activate right now. I think what I'm going to do is assign a worker to the sawmill, and I'm going to use its adjacency upgrade to chop one of these trees down and get 3 wood. 1, 2, 3. Okay, not terrible. Now, we should probably still stick to red buildings at this point, only because this isn't fully heated. I need more coal. Okay. All right, so before I do anything, I think I need to start treating people. I have this worker here. Use a building, medical post, or infirmary. Typically, the medical post would need an engineer to use, but I can use him to do that. Now, here's the thing. I want to spend this coal to move this up so that I can use the medical post without getting sick. The question is, that would leave me without coal for the automaton. Unless I explore, then get coal, then fuel it. All right, let's do that. So I am going to spend my last coal to move this up at least to short range. To short range, just so that I can use this and he won't get sick. So this card says cure 3 of 1 type of citizen. I wonder if that's in addition to this action. Yeah, well, I'm just going to do that then. And I'm going to do, I'm going to do 3 of the children, I think. So 1, 2, 3, it's down to 1. Okay, so that card is gone. And now I think I need to figure out a way to get more coal out of this. I did use the medical post. I kind of need to use the charcoal kiln, unfortunately, to get more coal. So that's going to actually, no, I have to explore first. I could use that tree over there, but I feel like I need to save those trees because once they're gone, this thing's worthless until I explore more around it. So I'm thinking, wow, that's gonna, I mean, I could use one of these, but I need them because I have to rebuild these ruins. Oh, you know what I could do? Let's pass a law. Let's do that. Makeshift shelters. Each of your ruins counts as a shelter. If heated, it provides 1 slot. Okay, fine with me. So I'm going to bring my engineer over here. It is in this tile, so it is a heated action. And now these ruins, if they are heated, will count as a shelter. It's not a whole lot, but it's... And as much as I don't want to get someone sick, I'm going to have to use the remove snow action. I'm going to use this worker here to remove some snow. 2 tiles, 1 here. I'd like to hopefully get some trees up here. We'll see if that actually happens. There goes the cookhouse. 4 coal. Well, I guess it's better than nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one? 2 trees. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, I wish I could choose where they go. Those trees would have been perfect up there. And 2 coal. Okay, so coal isn't that bad for a while. I still feel like we need to gather some. Using that snow made me sick, so that orange, so the orange worker is now up to 3 on the sickness track. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to do it. I need to fuel this guy so he can go out and do stuff. So I'm gonna have a worker come over to the charcoal kiln. It is not a heated action, so I'm gonna have to get another worker sick. He's up to 4, and I'll show you all of that in a moment. I'm going to get my 4 coal, however, and add it here. Great. And now I could possibly spend one of those coal to move that automaton somewhere, maybe collect these here. To use the charcoal kiln, I had to cut down a tree somewhere on the map. We'll start clearing this out, and hopefully I can put something here as well. But I would love to maybe just spend a coal with the automaton and move them up there just to start clearing that out as well. But let's think about it first. All right, we're starting to get low on meeples. I really need to start getting wood. Once this wood is gone, that's it. I need to get this built. I'm going to use this for a build action. And All right, well, I'm going to have to build the wall drill. That's going to cost me 5. Wow, that's 5 wood and a steam core. So that's 1 steam core, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think I'm going to construct another building because I still have 4 wood left. Let's go with the... Let's go with the bunkhouse, I think. That's going to cost me 3 wood. And I'll put that there. 1, 2, 3. The bunkhouse is like a better version of a tent. So it still only holds 2 people, but it's better than the ruins down there, I suppose. So there's that. Okay, I have 1 wood left. I could buy something else with that on the one side. I just don't know if it's worth it to do that. I could buy another hunter's hut, and that 1 symbol will go toward my daily, I guess, stipend of food. That's a thought. If I did that, where would I place it? It looks like, I mean, I could put it all the way out here and then just let it just get income for me. Maybe I will do that. I mean, I do have a 3rd build action. I might as well use this last piece of wood to do that. All right, fine. And that'll be an extra food coming to me every round, and that should hopefully help with that. And that leaves me with an automaton and an engineer. The automaton, it looks like, can use the hunter's hut. So I think that's what I'm going to do because I really need food. So I'm going to use 1 coal to move the automaton to, I guess, this one out. No, this one for 5. That's fine. So I'm going to get 5 food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to, for my engineer, this other one is red, and red is currently heated. So that's not a problem. And that's going to do another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Whew. I think that solves the hunger problem, but yeah. We'll see how that goes. Moving on to the dusk phase, everyone's favorite. Well, let's hope it's a good one. Okay, let's put that there. Successful education. Swap one of your child meeples with the child worker engineer meeple on M16, which is nice. So I can just get that out of here and do that. Okay, so now we have a child meeple, worker engineer meeple. This meeple counts as a child in all respects, except that it may be used to perform an action as if it were a worker or engineer, as appropriate. Oh, that's really cool. Remove M016 from the game. So this morning card is now gone, and there's also an X here, so this card will also be gone. All right, not terrible. Hunger phase. Decrease hunger by spending food. So we've got 12 hungry. We're down to 0. 15 minus 12 is 3. But now we have to feed 22 workers because we are on round 6. So we feed 3 of those 22, and now we're up to 19. All right. Yeah, that's wonderful. And now we move on to the night phase to see, oh gosh, the ruins. Oh no. So this is where things get a little messy. If I spend coal to make people less sick, I'm going to be adding more cubes to the generator, and I forgot to empty it. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. Okay, fun stuff. So we're going to leave it as is and let people get sick. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, no. All right, so as far as the night phase is concerned, we had to leave 2 engineers out. 1, 2, and 2 kids. So 1, 2. So now we've got an engineer sick here on the 5, meaning this could flip over and they could be on their skull side, which is not what we want at all. As far as everything else is concerned, yeah, that's it. That's it for round 6. All right, moving into round 7. On to the dawn phase. Move the round marker, resolve development, and scenario trigger tokens. All right, so this moves up to round 7. We have now developed the technology that we've been working on, and that is the generator safety system, something we probably could have used a long time ago. Before checking for generator breakdown, if there are 2 or fewer stress cubes on the overflow space, remove those cubes without any effect. Interesting. Whenever you use the generator building, remove an additional stress cube from the stress track. All right, so this is now active, and now we'll have to figure out what we want to start researching next, although I doubt we'll be able to finish anything else either before we die or we get to that next scenario token. These are the 2 that we have left, heating lamps and hunting tactics. Considering our food situation, I think we're going to go after hunting tactics, and that's going to cost us 4 time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's on this scenario token. Who knows? Maybe that'll kick in just at the right time, and we'll be able to get out of this whole starvation thing that we're actually in right now. Moving on to the morning phase, we're going to draw a morning phase card, and it says wooden toys. It was sporadic at first, but now everyone has noticed. A lot of children have wooden toys carved by an elderly man who isn't able to work anymore. It could be seen as a waste of wood, but then it is heartwarming to see them smile again. All right, so we could do number 1. So pretty much we put the card into our event display, add that particular dusk card to the dusk deck. But as an action, I can put a worker here, I guess, or an engineer, and place wood here, which I don't have a whole lot of right now. I could say children can play with their toys, but we need to talk to this man about wasting the wood. It's just +1 discontent. This one is confiscate the toys and take wood. So we gain an apathy and then gain 2 wood. I feel like just doing this and not doing anything just to sort of stave off. Because we have, looks like 3 cards in our deck, or 2 or 3 cards in our dusk deck here. So if I can get lucky and not draw this for a little bit, then maybe I'll have some time to actually do it. So I think I'm going to do the top half here. And now we have to add DO53 to the dusk deck. The dreaded generator phase. So we have a couple of decisions to make. We are 2 away from overflowing. We do have that makeshift generator safety system in place. And if 2 or cubes or less are here, then we can actually just remove them. I'm thinking about doing that, but that would mean that we'd have to get lucky and only so many cubes would drop in here. And there are a couple, I think, still in there. So I'm kind of concerned about, it's a risk. So here's the thing. I have 3 coal over there. I could go 1, 2, 3, and only make 1 child sick. And that would help out my sickness area down here. But that's almost a guarantee that this thing is going to overflow. So what I'm thinking of doing is just purposely overflowing the generator, letting it break down. But that will clear almost everything in here and all of this all in one go with the least amount of sick. The only downside to that strategy is all of these things just move up by 1. But there's a chance it's going to happen anyway. So I'm thinking I spend 3 coal, 1, 2, 3, to go 1, 2, 3. I don't like doing that, but only 1 child is going to get sick. So this is all there is. The only one in danger here is this engineer token. So now I have to add 4 of these black cubes, and I have a feeling it's just going to... Okay. Yeah, there's... Oh my... Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I'm going to clean that up a bit. So long story short, we overloaded the generator as we expected. This goes up, this goes up, this goes up, and this goes up. And if that happens again, we lose the game. Moving on to the weather phase, we're going to draw a weather card. And of course, we're going to move these things up. So there it is, getting cold. All right, so there's that. Then we're going to gain so much food based on the icons we have. We have 3 hunters' huts, 2 of which are upgraded. So that is a total of 5 food, plus the dusk card that I've got over there, so that makes it 6. So passively, I now have 6 food down here, which is nice. 3 expedition movement, which I have no expeditions, and the frost token moves here. Moving on to the, I'm just going to put this under here. Moving on to the, I guess, the preparation phase, we could use our 4-minute advisor to exhaust motivation and reveal a near tile. Here's what I'm going to do with that. I'm just going to ignore that part of it, and we're going to resolve sickness effects. So this engineer is the only one in this segment. I'm going to flip this from the syringe side to the skull side, but that's it. Okay, so I need coal badly. So I'm going to have to start making some sacrifices here. People are going to get sick. We're going to have this guy come over to the charcoal kiln. That is an unheated action because, well, we haven't even heated the generator this round yet. And we're going to move this up by 1. We're going to use our upgraded charcoal kiln to take a tree from anywhere. And we'll take this one. And we'll get our 4 coal out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what I think we're going to do, now if we heat that, we can start using reg buildings without getting sick. But I still want to get my automaton out there and doing things. I may have to do that. Okay, so I'm going to spend 1 of my coal to use my automaton over at the... Do I want to use the wall drill? Yeah, I'm going to use them at the wall drill and get 3 wood out of that. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3 wood. Now I need to get coal so that I can get... Okay, I have another charcoal kiln, don't I? I have one there. I'm going to have to risk it and get someone else sick and get more. Although I'm almost out of trees. So I'm just going to take this one over here. This one gets sick again. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need coal badly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to use 4 of them to 1, 2, 3, 4. So now at least this is heated. This red building area stuffs. So I'm going to need food. So Hunter's Hut, 1 there and 1 there. Those are heated actions. So that's going to be 5 food and 5 food. That's 10. So I am up to 16 food. Okay. And this is a sawmill. I could go there to get more wood if I need it. I don't know what to do with this stupid steam core. I'm very tempted to make some upgrades. Okay, I also need to work at the medical post. Is this upgraded? Oh, red. Okay. So what I think I might do is go to the workshop. I'm going to have the kids go to the workshop here. And these are blue engineer kids. That's fine. Again, it's a heated action because we're in the red zone there. And I think we want to upgrade 2 buildings. And to do that, I think we're going to spend both of our 1 woods. The medical post is a 1 on the upgrade. And the Hunter's Hut out here is a 1 on the upgrade chart. So I just spent 2 wood to upgrade those 2 things. I'm going to use the medical post to heal 4, or, well, yeah, I'm going to heal 4. So over here to the left, which you may or may not be able to see, yeah, you won't be able to see that. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone is now out of the danger zone for right now, although at night it's going to be a little bit touchy. We still have 2 engineers, a child, and the child is not going to be able to do much of anything. Because I upgraded the Hunter's Hut, I think I want to send someone over there to get that food so we don't starve. Otherwise, we'll get discontent. At this point, I feel like that may not be a bad thing. As far as like discontent goes, we have a little bit of wiggle room there, but I'm not sure if I want to push that or not. One of the things I also have to consider is that people are sick. So I need to take care of that. We have a lot of homeless people right now. These are considered not heated because this is not high enough. So we need to heat at least this area, this middle ring in order to at least heat these homes. That's only 2 people in all, so maybe I may not want to go that route. All right, well, anyway. Well, I kind of have to because the bunkhouse up here is orange. So I need to at least bring it up to here to heat that. So that means I'm going to have to give up 3 more coal. Oh, man, this is rough. Okay, so I'm going to have to give up this 3 coal to bring this at least up to here. And I probably should have done that before. Well, I guess it doesn't matter at this point. I'm going downhill anyway. All right, so I've got these to spend. I'm really tempted. I'm going to use the care house. That is a heated action now because it's in the orange. And I'm going to exhaust my other care that I have so that I can start moving these sickness markers. And you guys won't be able to see it until later. I'm going to move these down by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they're all on 2 right now, which isn't terrible. And I still have an engineer and a worker to spend. Now, I can't reuse these small buildings. I could bring someone over here to get more wood, although I'm not exactly sure what that's going to accomplish at this point. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the gather action to unfortunately just take this 1 wood that I need. Actually, I'm going to take it from here because it's here and I can actually put a building here. It'll be easier to heat. So I'm going to take this 1 wood and add it. And then lastly, I've got this engineer. I'm going to go to the platform and enact a law. I'm going to use the child shelter law. This will enable me to gain a hope. So I think what I'm going to do is flip one of my care back over to the positive side so that I can use that care house again in the future. And I can spend 2 wood to immediately build it. So I'm going to spend my last 2 wood and build the child shelter, which is somewhere, there it is. This can hold up to 4 children, so it's kind of overkill, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I guess it's going to go here. Moving on to the dusk phase, we're going to draw a card. It is distrust. We have to distrust each other. It is our only defense against betrayal. If you have more hope tokens than discontent tokens, I can exhaust. Okay, you may exhaust 1 hope to perform the corresponding effect. So I have an active motivation, justice, and so I have all 3. But I kind of want to save my hope for the care house. So it's either going to be justice or motivation. Reuse a worker. I think we're going to do that. So I'm going to exhaust my motivation so I can reuse a worker. And I think what I'm going to do is use it at the hunter's hut to gain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That way no one will starve. Well, we'll see how that goes. And I think that's all. Yep, so we're going to remove this card from the game, and we're going to take the next card from here, and we can look at it first if we want to. This says, if you have more active hope than discontent, do this, this, and this. Okay, so we want to make sure we keep our hope tokens up there. We need them active, though, so we need to be careful about all that. So we're going to shuffle that in, and cool. Hunger phase, super simple. We feed everyone, but we're down to 2 food. And based on the round that we're on, we are feeding children, and we have 8 children. So we feed 2 of them, but 6 go hungry. Pretty simple. And then we move on to the night phase where we see how many people are going to be sleeping out in the cold. Probably everybody. Well, that wasn't too bad. We have a ruins here, ruins, ruins, ruins. We do have makeshift shelters, which says each of your ruins counts as a shelter. If heated, it provides 1 sleeping spot. So that was a law that we passed on a previous turn. The only one left out in the cold is a single worker. So we're going to move that up to 3. All right, that was actually better than I thought it was going to be. All right, moving on to round 8. Wow, I'm surprised we actually made it that long. Round 8, on to the dawn phase. Move the round marker, resolve, scenario triggers, nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay. Next, we move on to the morning phase. The morning phase, we get to draw a morning card. Winter has come. Oh, that's great. Ed, our best huntsman, stumbled upon a dead she-wolf in a cave. She managed to give birth to a litter of pups. Most of them survived. Ed took it as an omen, since there are as many pups as he had children. Should we allow him to keep the litter? So is this what, Game of Thrones all over again? That's probably Winter. I bet you it's a Game of Thrones reference. The title says it. Anyway, let him keep the pups. His kids can help him raise the wolves. Place one spent worker engineer token in the supply. Increase hunger by 4. I kind of only want to do that because, man, it's food. I'd have to give up a worker to do that, or oh man, it's gonna suck. But I gotta do it. Like, it's thematically, I'm probably sure this is a bad thing to do, but I kind of want to, like, I want to be like, I don't know, I gotta save the wolves. So we're gonna add card 56 to the dusk deck, and we have to put a spent token here. That's one less worker we'll have for this upcoming round, but so it goes. Moving on to the generator phase, we can fuel the generator if we want to. We're going to gain 6 citizens based on the heat and cold markers. So 1 of each between these 2 tokens here. So all of these move up by 1. We're still in the clear. That's a good sign. Maybe. Drop coal in. Okay, so we're going to drop 4 black cubes in here. And I'm afraid to even look. All 4. Okay, lovely. All right, we've got 4 already. I think next round we'll have to do something about that. And place any cubes, check for generator breakdown, and reset the heat marker. All right, great. Preparation phase, nothing. Oh, the weather phase. Reveal a weather card. And we follow it. Okay, so of course things are getting colder. Surprise, surprise. That goes up, that goes up, that goes up. We're going to gain some food. We have 3 upgraded hunter's huts. So that's a total of 6, plus the dust card that I have is 7. So I'm going to gain 7 food. And we can move our expedition 3 spaces if we want to, and the frost marker moves from here to here. So it is actually getting closer. I think I did that off camera by accident, but so it goes. All right, we're going to skip the preparation phase just simply because no sick effects come into play, and I will not be using my Foreman Advisor. I don't think I've used him once this entire game. I'd have to exhaust motivation, but my motivation is currently exhausted. So, moving on to the action phase, well, I need coal, so I'm going to get this person sick to gather these resources. So my worker goes up 1 on the disease/sickness track. I will show you all of that later. And I'm going to take these 2 cubes and bring them over there. And I'm going to use one of them to fuel my automaton so I can come over here to get some wood. And that's going to give me 3 wood. 1, 2, 3. Great. And I am now going to get this worker sick at the charcoal kiln to turn a tree. I'm going to turn this tree here into 4 coal. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. That kind of makes this useless unless I reveal more tiles. With all of that coal, I need 1, 2, 3, 4 in order to heat these red buildings. So I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And fuel my generator up to this point at the very least. So I think I'm going to use my kid engineers to go to the platform over here and enact a new law. Public house. And this is necessary because I need to keep activating my hope. I'm going to flip over my second care so that I can use my care house's special ability more often. This unlocks the public house building. The public house costs 1 wood to build. So from here on out, I'll be able to use this public house building, which I think I'll put here, in order to, well, I can gain, it allows me to gain a hope. So I can keep refreshing my care in order to help not get sick. And the next thing I think I'm going to do is make use of this citizen card that I have. I get to remove snow. Perform this action as normal, but only place 1 near tile. If all near tiles have been already placed, place 1 far tile instead. So we only have 2 left, so we're going to place that. I should have placed it first, or yeah, but that's fine. It doesn't really matter at this point. I'm going down in flames. 1, Okay, and 2 coal. That's actually not terrible. Coal is something we desperately need. That child will come over here, and they get sick because gathering snow is always it is always a unheated action. So that's going to go over here. And now I think what we need to do is heal people. I'm going to actually, I want to get coal first, so I can I need 4 coal just to heat these orange buildings. Ugh, that hurts so much. And I need, oh man, this is awful. Okay, so I have to bring 2 workers up here to gather this 4 coal, which I need to 1, 2, 3, 4 spend immediately just to heat these orange buildings. Oh, that hurts so much. But that's 2 sick workers. Oh man. Oh, and I've got 3 engineers left. What in the world am I going to do? But now the orange buildings are heated, so I can come down here to the care house, flip over one of my care tokens, and I can heal 5. So I'm going to bring my orange 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys won't be able to see what I'm doing off camera right now, but you'll see it after I'm all said and done. Okay. I think we should also use this medical post to further bring back the sick. So we're going to do that, and that's going to be 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone is back down to 2 sickness again. And we have 1 engineer left. What in the world are we going to do with that? So here's the thing. I need food. However, I also need coal to get up to here at the very least, because I need to heat everything in medium range. So this last engineer is going to come over here, gather this 2 coal that I have, and I'm going to immediately throw it into the generator here. And now we've heated this middle ring so that come night phase, most people will have a place to sleep. Moving on to the dusk phase. It is another social dispute card, fear. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. How many references can we put into this? That's a Star Wars, obviously. Anyway, if you have more active hope than active discontent, choose one. Well, I have 2 active hope and 0 active discontent. So I can remove up to 4 stress cubes from the stress track, or I can gain food equal to the round number. I think we're going to do that. That is huge. It is round 8, so I'm going to gain 8 food. 8 plus 7 is 15. Thank goodness no one will starve this particular round. All right, so this goes away, and we will add indecision to our stack. The risk of wrong decision is preferable to the terror of indecision. If you have any active hope or discontent, for your most common active token, perform the corresponding effects. Okay, so whatever is active is what we'll be doing. Taking a quick look at this, and I'm going to make sure that one of these are going to be active. For each active care, cure 2. That could be huge for helping people not be sick. Exhaust 1 discontent and activate 1 hope. That could also be a good thing to have. And motivation. Take 1 resource from the map and place it in the supply. We'll get to there when we get to there, but we're going to have our choice of these pretty much because I do have the buildings to make it happen. Moving quickly on to the hunger phase, we have to feed, 10 people are starving, so we have to bring that down, and we're down to 5. And now we're in round 8, which is we're feeding engineers, and there are 12 engineers. So we feed 5 of those engineers, and 7 go hungry. We have that many to feed by next round. So as part of the night phase, I've arranged people into beds. We've heated up to medium range. That leaves an engineer and a worker out in the cold, so these 2 will go up to 3. Round 9. Okay, so as part of the dawn phase, we move this up by 1, resolve any tokens that might be here, and I don't see anything else to do. Morning phase, we're going to draw a morning card. A prophet. A child is having intense visions. Some people believe that she is a prophet. Oh, this is going to lead to great things. That her words provide hope and should guide us in terrible times and yours. Others say that she is controlled by her mother to coax food and fuel donations from her followers. What will you do? Well, I can As long as she speaks our words, we allow it. Okay, so we have to spend resources to remove a discontent, remove the card. The impossible is possible. We shall let her continue for her sake. We gain a hope, but we add... I bet you this is an awful card. But the extra hope that we can get would be fantastic. That would allow me to flip over one of my care tokens, and I could use that to make more people well again. So I think we're going to do this, and hopefully we don't draw whatever this is. D22. Well, we're on to the generator phase, and this is where we have to fuel the generator if we want to. We're not gonna. Yeah, we're not gonna. And now we have to drop coal into that thing. Well, we're on 6. We're on 6, so here we go. Ugh. I'm afraid to even look. All of them. Do these even get caught? I mean, this is coming back to bite me. It's coming back to bite me. Oh my gosh. We are nearing full again. How in the world am I supposed to... Oh no, this is awful. Moving on to the weather phase. All right, so we move the blue one up, the yellow one up, and that's it. Then we gain food. I have 3 upgraded hunter's huts. That's 6 food, plus my dusk card is 7. So we've actually met our food needs for, well, at least the people that were starving from the previous round. We still have 22 workers to feed at some point. Expeditions move 2, and the frost marker moves, oh great. Well, that's something that we're going to have to deal with. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and take a look at, I'll put this at the bottom, the storm card and see what it says. If it is round 8 or later, go to 2. Flip all bunkhouses to their ruined side. Remove the storm marker from the game. We have 1 bunkhouse. So this is gone, but that 1 bunkhouse that we built a while back is now useless. So the preparation phase, no one is in the sick area here, so we're not going to flip any tokens over. Everyone's over here to the left, which you may not be able to see. And we're not going to use our advisor. So I think we just move on to the action phase. And the first thing we need to do before I forget is take care of this stupid thing. One of these buildings is, well, actually, this one here allows me to do that. I'd have to come over here. That's a red heated building, but we don't have, let's do this first. I am going to spend a coal to activate my automaton so that I can come over here and get 3 wood. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now I need to get people sick. I'm going to go to the charcoal kiln with a worker, up to 4, and I'm going to turn a wood. I mean, there's no more trees on the map, so I'm going to have to start using my wood, and I get 4 coal. 1, 2, 3, 4. And with those 4, I will spend them immediately. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are now heating at least the red buildings. I could, 1, 2, 3, 4. The orange buildings would also be heated if I can get 4 more. So I'm going to have another worker come over to this charcoal kiln, give up another wood, and that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Which I will spend immediately. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So now we've heated this area here and any building with an orange. I would love to get up to here so that we can heat our ruins. But that's going to be 6 cubes that we would be dropping into this thing. Let's get that taken care of now. An engineer will have to come over here and relieve pressure from the generator. We have the generator safety system upgrade. So whenever you use this generator building, remove an additional stress cube from the stress track. So I'm going to remove 5 instead of 4. The next thing that we should probably do is cure people. I'm going to spend one of my 2 active cure hope tokens and come here. It is a heated action because we are now heating all orange buildings, and I'm going to heal 5. So off camera, you may not see this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so orange and blue are on 1, and green is currently on 2. This would be a waste to do right now, so we'll have to figure out something else to do in the meantime. I'm thinking the hunter's hut with one of our workers just to get more food for the next round. So we're going to go from 7 to 12. So I'm thinking long term, we have to get food and coal stockpiled here for the storm coming, which is going to be fairly soon. So I'm thinking we need to try and get access to a coal, there's a coal mine that I can build for 5 wood and 1 steam core. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get the resources in time to do it. So I am going to remove some snow, I think. So this worker is going to get sick doing that. And he'll come over here to off camera, and we'll take a far tile and just hopefully we'll get something good. 3 trees and 2 coal. Well, that kind of changes things because I was hoping for empty spaces to put the building down, but trees isn't bad. I could start using the charcoal kilns again to remove these trees, and extra coal isn't bad either. So that's a thought. But I need to get coal saved up over here, and for every 1 for every 3 food. So I have to spend 3 food per slot here and 2 coal for every slot in order to start filling this up. That is going to be a huge undertaking. I'm going to go ahead and use the healing post over here, the medical post, and I'm going to use my engineer to do that, and that's going to heal 4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we only have 1 sick child right now. Next, we're going to have these child engineers come over to the platform and enable a card that I didn't really want to do, but we kind of need it if we're going to prepare for that storm. Food additives. We can add sand dust to meals and make them more filling, although not exactly tasty or healthy. So during the hunger phase, I can spend 2 food to decrease hunger by 10. And if I do, I gain a single greed. So this will be in my back pocket should I need it. So with our final worker here, I think we are going to take the construct action. And I really don't want to deconstruct anything. If I were, I'm tempted to deconstruct the gathering post, but I'm very tempted to see if I can find more tiles that I can gather from later on. So I don't think there's anything I really want to get rid of, but I do want to spend the 4 wood that I do have to gain 1 house. These are the best in the game, very expensive. They're red buildings, however. So I'm going to put that one right there, I think. Actually, I'm going to put that further out, only because heating a red building is extremely easy to do. So this is going to go on the outskirts out here. All right, and I think that concludes the action phase. Moving on to the dusk phase. Let's give these a quick shuffle. Okay. Fur and Fang, I think that's that wolf thing. Through primal instincts, we have achieved what our ancestors did thousands of years ago, domesticated the common wolf. The question is, do we train them as pets or as hunters? We can exhaust all apathy, or we can gain 7 food. Well, yeah, 7 food. 12 plus 7 is 19. We could totally use that. Okay, and we have to discard from the game. All right, off we go. Moving on to the hunger phase, that should be fairly simple to do. We're going to feed our hungry 7 people. We're down to 7 minus 19 is 12. And now we have to feed 22 workers. So we feed 12 of them, but 10 are starving. Okay, so we have to feed that many for the next round. Lastly, there's the night phase. We'll check to see who's sleeping outside tonight. Okay, so unfortunately, we heated orange buildings and we heated everything on the center, but we did not heat the middle ring. So this rune, and this ruins do not count as heated shelters. So 3 of our people are going to be left out in the cold tonight. We've got a heated one there, child shelters there. We've got an orange, oh, another worker. I thought that was, yeah. So let's do this. Let's spread the love a little bit. And yeah, so now we've got 2 engineers and 2 workers. We have a house all the way out there that is heated here. So 2 sick workers and 2 sick engineers. All right, so we've got 1 child on 1 and the rest of these are on 2. Round 10, looking pretty bleak. All right, so we move this up. Nothing else really happens. We are approaching this very soon. So we're about to do the second part of the first scenario card that we have. We'll get to there when we get to there. Okay, moving on to the morning phase. Let's go ahead and draw a card and see what's what. Orphans. A large percentage of children have no parents. Even though their basic needs are, for the most part, met, we feel they might lack proper guidance. All right. We can let our engineers prepare a proper education. Let the teachers guide them. Place 1 spent engineer token in the supply. Nothing else happens. Let's see if their volunteers ready to adopt them. There's no substitute for a real home. D27. I kind of like the idea of padding the dusk deck just so that there's a possibility that certain cards won't come up. That is just a nightmare, I'm pretty sure. Their basic needs are met. Let's just forget about them. It's fine. So I'm thinking about doing this, but we have to remove one of our workers for this round. So we're going to use one of our inactive worker tokens and place it over on this board. This goes away, and I'll have to find D027 in the dusk deck over there and put it in here. So now we are on the generator phase, and we can fuel the generator if we want to. We have no coal to do so. And now we're going to check to see who gets sick. It looks like 2 workers, an engineer, and a child. So 2 workers, engineer, and a child. Okay, we're still under that threshold, which we're okay for the moment. Moving on, we have to place coal into this thing based on this number here. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, please, no. There's 4 in here. There's 1 stuck in there somewhere. Okay. Note for later. So we're up to 9. We're going to have to do another one of those actions. Okay. Don't want to move this thing around too much. There's 1 in there. All right. Now we move on to the weather phase. So we're going to draw a weather card. We're not going to worry about moving this marker anymore because it's out of the game. But we increase this by 1. This goes up by 1. This goes up by 1. Red stays where it is. And I forgot to reset that. That was my bad. We gain food. I have 3 upgraded hunter's huts. So that's 6 plus my dusk card is 7. So I'm going to gain 7 food. And yeah, we don't worry about that. Okay, this is going to be a rather rough round. A lot of people are going to get sick. I just don't have the coal. I don't think this is going to happen. So I just need to get as much wood as possible, use my charcoal kiln, and somehow stay alive. I'm going to have to use these medical facilities often to reduce death. So the first thing I need to do, I think, is get my automaton up and working so I can start getting some wood. So to do that, I'm going to bring my worker over here, bring this up to 5 off camera. You may not be able to see that, and collect this 2 coal, one of which I will spend on my automaton to work over here. This thing does not get sick, which is fine. So that is going to give me 3 wood. 1, 2, 3. And now using this wood, I'd like to get another house at some point, but for right now, I think we're going to need more charcoal. So I'm going to bring another worker sick. He's up to 6. Give up a tree to get 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I have that upgraded charcoal kiln, which allows me to do that. Okay, so I think I should at least spend 1, 2, 3, 4 of these to bring myself up here. Ideally, I'd like to be up here, but because I would like to be here for these ruins, but that's so much. I need to get rid of this, so an engineer has to come here to reduce this by 5. I have the generator safety system. So I can remove 5 cubes from this, and I am down to 4. So these go away, and I'm left with these guys. Let's go ahead and get the care house out of the way. And again, people are going to get sick doing this, but I have no choice. A worker comes down here. I'm going to flip my last active care token in order to make this from 2 to 5. So I can treat 5 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The worker is back down to the 1 space. I'm going to bring an engineer to the medical post to further heal. So blue goes 1, 2, child goes to 1, and I'll put the worker on 0. Okay, so we have, you guys can't see it off camera, but it's 1 child and 1 engineer sick, and there are no sick workers at this point in time. So we've pretty much healed everyone up to full strength, but we need to add more coal to the generator to stop that from happening. So we're going to have to bring a worker over here to the charcoal kiln, give up another tree, and we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 coal, which we will then immediately add to the generator. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that will lessen how many get sick for the next round, although 5 cubes will be coming out in the generator phase at some point in time. And the rest, I'm not exactly sure what to do with. I think it's time to enact a law. New faith. I don't think I'm going to be building any of these, but it says the new activate 1 hope of each type. This will allow me to flip over my spent motivation and 1 of my care. And I think that's going to be really helpful for the next round. So I will also unlock these faith buildings. There's the field kitchen, cemetery, temple, and faith keepers. I don't know if I'll have time to build any of them. The field kitchen is free, and I'll take a look at that in a moment. But yeah, so we are going to flip over 1 care and 1 motivation. So now we have 1 of each active type, and that 1 is just going to be put over here. So I looked up the field kitchen. It says passive. Any action or building on the same tile as the field kitchen is considered heated. Also, any building that provides shelter on the same tile as the field kitchen is considered heated during the night phase. Cannot be upgraded. That is going to be huge. So I think with that being said, I'm going to have 1 of my workers take the build action, which is always a heated action. And I'm going to build 3 of these field kitchens, and they look a little something like this. If you hear pounding in the background, apparently my neighbor is now deciding that they want to do something in their garage, so apologies. I'm going to put this field kitchen and replace this. That way I can use the charcoal kiln and not get sick on my next turn. Probably should have led with that, but so it goes. I'm going to put a field kitchen there so that this ruins is heated. And I'm going to put this field kitchen replacing this wood down here. And that way when I use the care house, that will always be considered a heated action. I would love to use more ruins, but unfortunately, yeah, it's just the way it is. Last but not least, we have an engineer. I'm going to bring him to the hunter's hut, which is a heated action, and just gain 5 food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're up to 12. Moving on to the dusk phase. Let's see what fate befalls us. Another social dispute. What the heck? All right. If you have any active hope or discontent for your most common active token. Okay. For your most common active token, or for all, tied for most common, perform the following. Oh, interesting. So if I'm reading this card right, for your most active token, or for all tied for most, perform the following. I have 3 tied for... Oh, that is awesome. So that means I get to activate all 3 of these? That is probably the best thing I've ever seen. For motivation, I can take 1 resource from the map and place it in the supply. Then, for each active motivation, take another 1 resource from the map and place it in the supply. For each resource you cannot take, gain a single coal. Well, I'm going to take this. The only resource on the map right now is a single. There's a coal, and yeah, I'm going to take these 2 and just add them to the supply. All right, that's 1 less gather I have to do later on. Next, for care, for each active care, cure 2. I've got one active, so I'm just going to do, let's see. So it looks like one child is going to get sick here and two. Okay, so I'm going to do one engineer and one worker and leave one child sick. And then lastly, justice. For each act of justice, exhaust one discontent or activate one hope. I'm going to activate my care. Okay, now here's the thing. I don't know if I had to follow this in this order, because it would have been cool if I could activate care and then activate this after that to get more, but I don't. Maybe I'm supposed to do it from top to bottom, which is fine. So now I've got more care available so that I can use that building over there and possibly cure more people. Great. Now that we're done with the dusk phase, we move on to the hunger phase. From the last round, we have defeated 10 starving people. We're down to 2. Actually, you know what? We have this. No, we have this. Food additives. We have some wiggle room with that discontent. I say we do this. Spend 2 food to reduce hunger by 10. All right, down there, and boom. Beautiful. Now we've got extra food that we could use. However, we have to gain a single greed, which means this now becomes active. This is greed. This ... is apathy, and there's one token we haven't seen yet. It's like X. I think that's anger. All right, so that was actually not terrible. And now we have to feed kids. 8. Okay, so we're down to 2. We fed all the kids for the first time. We actually fed everyone for a given round. All right, well, that's something, I guess. Moving on to the night phase, we'll have to see who's out in the cold this time. After assigning everyone, it looks like we have 1 engineer out in the cold and 2 workers. These 2 ruins are not heated because we did not get this marker up to here, which at this point is going to be impossible. So we did manage to get 2 people into the house. These ruins are within close range here, so they're fine. We have a field kitchen here, which automatically heats shelters in its area. So we can house all of these people. So we're going to have 1 sick engineer and 2 sick workers, and that will conclude round 10. Round 11. All right, so dawn phase. We're going to move this up and resolve all of the tokens here. 1 is a development token, so this hunting tactics card is done. Gain an additional 1 food for every 2 hunting symbols. Hopefully that'll help me out later on. I'm going to put this off to the side for right now, and now we resolve this scenario token. I'm not going to bother researching something else. There's no way I'm going to get it done. Okay, so we have to resolve scenario 1 card, and we did round 4's token already. Round 11 says, place number SO4 face up in the scenario display. If SO7 has not been revealed, then place number SO3. Well, I think here's SO4. SO7 is, I think it was that Winterhome one that I did earlier. So we're going to reveal this one. SO4. Okay, survive the storm. Okay, so, oh my gosh. Oh no. Okay, so we have to survive the storm. I guess that's for the next round, round 12. So we have 1 more round to make it. So this is SO4, and this is what it says. A howling gale snares the city in its grasp. The generator cracks under its weight, opposing the raging winds. Hunting or transporting raw materials from a warehouse means certain death. We'll have to make do with the food and coal we're stockpiled with. So we are expected to do these things. So rather than play a full round, we're going to, lose half. Instead of playing a normal round, resolve this card, lose half of your food, rounded up. Ew. Okay, so we need to stockpile as much as possible. It looks like we gain bonuses here. Gain 5 food for each food ration. We gain sick people, but we reduce by 2 for each coal on this card here. So we need to stockpile as much food and coal as possible on this card, because it looks like we'll be losing a lot of stuff. Oh man, this is not good. So I'm just going to move our scenario 1 card off to the side, and we'll be focusing on this. Oh, that's, I don't think we're going to make it, to be honest. All right, so we move into the morning phase where we draw a morning card. Long hours of toil. Some of our people are so tired they can barely walk. Gee, I wonder. We must do something about it, or efficiency is not the only thing that is going to fail. Force them to work, motivate them. It looks like either way, it's going to be the same result, and I can't imagine that's good. Place 1 spent worker or engineer token in the supply, then for each act of apathy, there are none. Place another 1 spent worker. Okay, so I think I'm just going to give up a worker for this round and do that. That's the best. And then this card gets discarded. So yeah, we don't have to worry about that anymore. Next, we move on to the generator phase. There's 4 here. We have to put 5 in there, and I have a feeling, I think there's 1 actually stuck in there. Let's see. Okay, yep, 5 came out. So there's still 1 stuck in there somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4. We should definitely spend an action to fix that at some point. Pardon the large head. Oh, that just fell out, but per the rules, if that happens when you're putting the drawer back in, it is there for the following round. All right, moving on. Again, generator phase. We drop the coal. We should have gained sick tokens. We forgot to do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we gained 2 sick workers, 2 sick engineers, and 1 sick child. And we have to reset everything here. Moving on to the weather phase. All right, so we're going to increase these. 1, 1, 1. That stays where it is. We're going to get some food. We have 6. Well, I have 3 upgraded Hunter's Huts. That's 6 icons, plus my Dusk card. That's 7. However, my recent technology that I just got, gain 1 food for every 2 hunting symbols. So our hunting huts give an additional food each. So you're looking at, what is that, 10? 6 for, yeah, so 6 for normal hunters. So actually it's just 3, 3, 3, and then 1 for the Dusk card. That's, 10. So I'm going to gain 10 food. So I'm up to 12. That'll help us stockpile what we need. Expeditions move forward by 3, and we have no more store markers, so we don't have to worry about that. For the preparation phase, we do have active motivation, so I might as well use this card for the first time this game. We're going to exhaust it and place 1 near tile. If we have none, then we'll place 1 far tile instead. We have 1 left, so I guess it's going to go, I guess over here. Yeah, I guess that'll work. Okay, so that's a bonus of 2 food. So we're going to add 2 food here, but we do have to exhaust our active motivation in order to do that. All right, so we're down a worker as part of the spent worker token, so we're going to have to make do. I will come right over to the charcoal kiln, which is heated because of the field kitchen here. Even though we haven't heated anything yet, this helps this become heated. We're going to spend this last tree with our upgraded charcoal kiln to get 4 coal from the supply. And I'm tempted, I kind of want to heat up to here, but at the same time, I feel like we need to save and stockpile as much coal as possible at the expense of whatever may happen this round. I'm hoping to get more. Okay, so now that that's done, do we use our automaton to get wood? But I'd have to spend one of these precious coal to do it. Oh, that's a tough decision. What I will do first is exhaust one of my 2 care tokens, so that I can use this building down here. I'm going to use a worker, and I can treat 5 instead of 2. So workers go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have the workers and the engineers on the 1, and the children on the 2 over there to the left. The next thing I'm going to do is clear off some of this pressure. I'm going to use an engineer to come over here. And I'm going to spend a steam core. This is something that we didn't do the entire game. But in addition to just getting rid of 5, you can spend 8 or 4 plus the upgrade I've got. You can spend a steam core to get rid of everything. So I'm going to just discard my extra steam core that I'm probably never going to use and just get rid of everything here. That way I don't have to worry about this ever again. All right, now I'm probably going to regret doing this, but I'm going to spend a coal, which is much needed, to activate my automaton so I can come over here and no one gets sick. And that'll give me 3 wood. And I'm going to take the build action, use one of my workers to take, that's a heated action all the time. And I think I'm going to build, let's see, 4 and 1. And that gives me a house, which I'll put out here, and a charcoal kiln, which I guess is going to have to go here. There's no other place for it on the inner ring, not that it really matters at that point. But now I've got 2 wood left, and I'm going to use a worker, get him sick, go to the charcoal kiln. I'm up to 2 sickness on him, and I'm going to use 1 of this wood to turn into 4 coal. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have an engineer get sick, come over to this other charcoal kiln, and he's going to use this last wood to get more coal. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for the last 5 minutes, I've been trying to math it out. Should I even bother heating anything and put all of this coal into the stockpile for the last part? Or do I heat at least up to here so that so many people just don't get sick? I also need a place to sleep for the night, and that's going to be a lot of sick people if I don't heat their homes. So I think I need to just focus on this round and hope that I survive the final storm. So to do that, I'm going to have to spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. All right, I'm going to spend 10 coal and heat all of this at the very least. So as part of this final part, we are going to lose half of our food. So I need to get as much food and this 2 remaining coal stockpiled as much as possible. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this engineer over to the hunter's hut, which at this point is heated, which is fine. And I'm going to gain 5 food. So I go from 14 up to 19. And for this last action, I have very little choice. I'm going to use this child meeple to deliver supplies over here. I need to spend 2 coal per slot, and that's 2 there, so that coal goes to the 1. And I've got 19 food. I have to spend 3 per slot, so 3 for every, wow, so that's 18. So I'm going to come down to 1 food remaining, which you probably can't see on my board, and this goes on the 6. So I've stockpiled a bunch of food, but only 1 crate of coal. We could very well freeze to death. We are now going to move on to the dusk phase. Did you find a family for the children? Oh, I forgot about those orphans. Okay, so if you have active care, go to 1. Okay. We do have active care. We have 1 active care. So the children look happier, and do so the citizens. Knowing there is a future generation brightens their mood. +1 hope. Well, I guess I'll activate my motivation now that I've got 1 of each. And that's what that looks like. And I remove this card from the game. All right, that wasn't awful. Hunger phase. There's no one that is starving right now, but we did have to feed engineers, and that's 12, so we're up to 11. So as part of the night phase, we're going to see who's left out in the cold. We have a heated house here, heated house over there. This field kitchen is heating this ruins. This is part of the inner area here, and that is heated, so these are good, 1 per. We've got the child shelter here that is heated, and that leaves 1 worker out in the cold. So we're going to have 1 sick worker, but that's it. Round 12. So it says that we will be resolving this card rather than playing a full round. So let's go ahead and just make this official. We are now there on round 12. And we have to lose half of our food, but we have none. So that's fine. Return all scouts from expeditions. Do not collect rewards. We didn't have any. Generator phase, play as normal. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about dropping stuff in here because it doesn't matter. We've got plenty of space. I'm just going to put, we're on 6. I'm just going to put the 6 cubes here to save me some time, just to show that we had 6 stress from the round before. Some of them may have stayed in there, who knows, but that's no problem. We also have to take a look at this here. We've got 2 sick kids and 1 sick worker and 1 sick engineer. All of them are still on the first segment here. So even if there was a preparation phase, no one would have flipped over or resolved anything nasty down here. Okay, so this says increase hunger by 2 for each citizen meeple. Okay, so we have citizen meeple. I guess that's everybody. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 meeples in all. So we have to do 20. So we're up to, what, 31? So we're up to here. So wait, I guess we're on this. I'm just going to put this out here as 31. So 25, we're up to the 6. Oof, okay. Well, that's not good. Gain 5 food for each 5 food for each food ration on SO3. So 5 food for each. So 6 times 5 is 30. So that brings us to here. And we barely, and you guys probably can't see that. Let's just move this slightly there. Okay. So you guys can't see it, but I have 30 food and I'm up to 31 on hunger. So now I have to, according to this card, I have to spend food to decrease hunger. That'll mean 1 person has starved. 1 person, and now we resolve the hunger marker effect, which is 1 discontent. I'm just going to flip this apathy over to the positive side, and that'll be that. Okay, that's the hunger. So we had enough food. What worries me is the coal part. All right, frostbite. Gain 12 sick citizens of each type. Reduce by 2 for each coal stack. So that means we're going to get 10 sick citizens of each type. Oh my gosh. Okay. Because we had 2 coal here. So that's 14, and 13. So we're up to there. Great. Next, count all shelters as heated. Okay. Well, because we only had 1 person out here from before, technically this ruins here is heated now. So everyone has a place to sleep. For each citizen meeple without somewhere warm to sleep, gain 3 sick citizens of the corresponding type. Resolve the effect of the sickness markers. This is going to be tough. Okay, so all of us are in this section here. So we have to resolve each one. The little meeple icon says that we have to put a spent token here, just indicating that we can't use it for a following round. That doesn't really mean anything. So now we flip each marker 1 time. This gets flipped to the syringe side, so we've got a death. The engineer died. This would flip over once, also a skull, a worker dies, and this kid syringe goes over to the skull side. So in effect, we lost 2 people from that, not a child, it was this one here. And normally as part of death, we would have to resolve the death effect. We would draw a card from the citizen deck and resolve this down here. Although I can't imagine me having to do that twice would make me lose the game at this point. It just says that, because I would have to be here, here, or here in order to lose that. So I'm just going to say, if you have survived, you are victorious. And there you have it. Frostpunk, the board game. This is a large game. I'm tired, but it was oh so much fun. I would definitely introduce some easier rules to this. For one, maybe make all food costs halved. So when you're feeding people, have the amount of food you have to spend. That might be one way. Maybe the coal would be another thing. Maybe the generator automatically reduces by 2 every round just to make it easier. There's a lot of different ways you could make this game easier if you wanted to, but oh, that was so good. I'm sure I made some mistakes in there, so be warned, this probably wasn't a true victory, but it was fun. Hope you guys had fun too. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Take care.